Hello everyone! Alright, this is a bit of a weird song to start on, because it's got a bit of a weird entry. But anyway, hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream! Today, we're going to be going over the leaks. We got some really interesting, some kind of like frustrating leaks. Like, especially from like the speed side, because no one ever wants to see a selection box. The actual first thing I did today was I went on, looked at DLM, saw the word selection box, and went, oh no. Please don't be a rush selection box. And thankfully it wasn't. But it's still a speed selection box, which still kinda sucks. So it's not the best news, but like the rush stuff's pretty cool. There isn't really any bad news in the rush side, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the idea is we'll be going over the leaks. We'll have a look, we'll have a gander, and then once we've done that, we will then be jumping in and playing some pure Dragon Maid in the old speed side of things and seeing how things go from there. But first things first, let's see who we have in the chat today. We have Gunkin, Suship, Shari, always here. Hello, hello. We have Luis Fernando, Tomato Sauce. We have Red Boot Box. Yes, very, very exciting. I think a lot of people are expecting a structure. And I think that would have been arguably better. I don't know. Structures are a weird one, where sometimes they're fantastic, right? And sometimes they're really frustrating. Because if you can get 3 copies of a structure with gems, generally, it's going to be better than getting a deck build box. But deck build boxes can have more reprints, which is better if you're like a casual player. You're not like a madman like me buying every single rush card, right? So like... you know, that's the only, like, mild negative, I suppose. It's likely that this month's box will arrive at the end of the month, and that and will be a super mini rush box. I mean, that makes sense, right? We generally, rush is a super mini, like, game. We kind of live off of super minis. We revolve around them a lot of the time, so, like, I think that does make sense. We got Beam in the chat. Hello, Beam. We got Dwan, who's on a 3-stream streak. Welcome, welcome on in, Dwan. Hope you're having a great day. I hope we get the Mirror Gears alt art where it's eating ice cream. So there are a lot of alt arts that we still haven't got, right? So for example, one of my favorite ones, I don't know if it will be on DLM, but Innovator has a really cool alt art. Is it not on here at all? I know you guys can't see, but yeah, it's not on there. Let's jump over to here. Let me get this up. I should be able to show it off. So we go and look up Innovator. This. Also, that text is right in the way there, isn't it? Let me just move this over a bit. We don't need that. We don't need that right in our face. Look at this boy. Look at how cool Innovator looks in this art, right? Like, this is selection box bait if I've ever seen it, right? I mean, just look at this thing, right? First off, like, Innovator isn't like super meta anymore. It still is seeing play. It's, you know, the machine good stuff list is still pretty good. But like, this card is going to like have a soft expiration date where the further we get in, the less appealing Mirror Innovator is going to be. So it's like, why don't you just give it to us now, Konami? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, where were we? We were reading chat. That's what we were doing. Pelotas. Hello there, Ray. Also, good job, Ray, by the way, on your casting of the Cloudy tournament. I was actually very impressed by it. It was very fun to watch. It was going on at the same time as a Rush tournament, so I was kind of like flipping back and forth, and I was also doing other shit at the time, so unfortunately I couldn't like sit there and watch it all. But from what I saw, very, very good. I really enjoyed it. Speed is fucked up right now. Yeah, I mean... No one ever really wants to see this banner, a big, like, selection box, just kind of come across their screen. It's never really good for the consumer, so it's kind of a bit yikes. Speed is in a sad position in 2025, the FTKs and the toxic meta. Yeah, it's a weird one as well, because I feel like, from Konami's perspective, you should be catering to your casual players, right? You should be catering to the people that just play ladder. You should be catering to the people that is the majority of your player base and that are more likely to spend money. And I feel like the last few metas, a lot of competitive players have come out and been like, I actually really like this meta. I feel like there's a lot of skill expression. some of these matchups are actually really, really exciting to play, not so much to watch, right? So I think from a spectator standpoint, the speed meta has been a bit weird. And from a casual standpoint, the speed meta has been really bad. But from like a very high level competitive standpoint, at least from my outwards opinion looking in, it seems like everyone's quite, or has been quite happy with it. Like, I think people have been like really enjoying like the Ghost Trick, the Shadows, the Predator Plants to a certain extent. Like, people genuinely like the meta at, you know, tournament level, I guess. So it's like, it's weird. I feel like usually what actually ends up happening is the casual player base gets catered to more, and then everyone seems happy, except the top-end tournament players who are usually like, this meta sucks, I don't like this. But we're in like the inverse universe right now. It's very strange. It's very strange. And FTKs are always shit, right? No matter what, FTKs are always shit. So like, there's toxic meta, which, you know, is its own problem. But FTKs is a problem that shouldn't exist. Just get rid of that shit straight up. Mirror Gear Star is so cracked, and you can play it with Dragia Star Nova skill. Yes, yes, you can. I mean, it's a cool guy. I would have said it would have been way more impactful had it come out alongside Dragia Star, because we're at a point in the meta where Psychic can like boost their life up to like 10k without even really trying. So like trying to chip them down feels like an uphill struggle, right? It's just like, ugh. So I don't know. I think until Psychic gets tuned down a bit more, I feel like Mirror Gear Star is not going to have as much value as it could have. Hi, Tomato. Hello, Duke. Welcome on in. What can you say about Rainbow Neos coming to Duel Links? I don't like Rainbow Neos. I've never liked Rainbow Neos. I don't really like Neos in general. Like, aesthetically, like, the storyline of how Jaden got Neos, any of the decks that are basically Neos decks, I don't really like any of that. So Rainbow Neos coming out is not exciting for me. I also think the card it's not inherently problematic, but it's a bit of a dick card, right? It's very, very powerful, and the trade-off is supposed to be it's very hard to get out, but it's not, because we have skills to get it out, so it's like, eh. The only art I'm excited for is Heavy Metal. Oh, the Heavy Metal art as well does go very, very hard. Also, I don't think I said hellos to Kurosama. Hello, Kurosama. We got Kim Friend in the chat. Speed first. Milking Alistair fans. Nice. Well, so the problem I have with Meltdown being in this box as a UR isn't even that it's a invoked card. It's that the rest of the invoked deck is so free-to-play friendly. It is so unbelievably free-to-play friendly. And it's like, well, now you've made a pseudo-mandatory 3 of a selection box UR, which I think making anything that is a 3 of a selection box UR is super scummy. Now, you don't necessarily need this at 3, right? In 40 card lists, this was a mandatory 3 of. I don't know about 20 card lists or like 30 card lists. Like, maybe this isn't necessary. Maybe with certain skills, you don't necessarily need 3 of this, but like, that's just kind of what it was before. We also have Gelato Gaga, welcome on in. I think this selection box is skippable for me. Yeah, there's stuff in here I want. Like, I would like to get Nadir Servant. I do like the idea of having access to Magical Meltdown, but like, I'm not going into this box. I'm just straight up not, right? Hey, Tomati. Hello, big man Neo. Welcome on in. Yeah, it's been pretty fun until Dragonic Glue ruined everything. Yeah. I mean, kind of. Milking, that's nothing compared to the Hero's Glue. I mean, yeah. Yeah, we're in a bit of a weird spot right now in the speed meta. What are you milking for, Kim Friend? Just gems. Just gems. Can we get a free Rainbow Neos? Not for free. Can we get free Rainbow Neos? Not free. Free... play Tag Duel to test Rainbow Neos. Can test it immediately. Rainbow Neos has animation. Rainbow Neos is a cool card when you summon it properly. Cheating it out is boring. Yes, I think... There's a lot of boss monsters in, and this is pseudo-true in Rush as well, where if you summon the monster correctly, you have to jump through so many hoops that you feel like you should just win the game, right? Like, if you summon out a boss monster that requires you to do, like, a ridiculous amount of bullshit to get it out, you almost feel like, I've invested so much into this should just kind of read, I just kind of win. But... oftentimes that's not the case, and anime cards especially generally are like really difficult to get out. Like I mean, just off the top of my head, there was the Flame Swordsman Dark Magician fusion, right? There was like the Dark Flare Knight into like the Mirage Knight bullshit. And it was just like, there are so many hoops, and you have to play so much bad shit to get this out the way it was like intended, that it's just a waste of time, and the payoff was just crap. So it's just like, what's even the point? I think we're getting it soon, not the scope, but the actual card. I'm excited for the Cat and Small World. Rescue Cat is a really weird one. I don't know what we can do with this in Duel Links. Like, there's probably people that have actually like mathed this out and like actually worked out the good shit you can do with this, but like off the top of my head, you would usually use this to grab like a tuner and a non-tuner and go into like a 6. You could also just use this to, I guess, just link. It's just a free link too, but like we already have cards that do that. I'm sure there's something broken you can do with this. Rainbow Neos is rush card, send top card of your deck to activate the effect. I mean, you've summed up most rush activation conditions. Look at Eternal Bond. You can just turbo out Yubel like nothing. So no nice payout, just playing actual Yubels with Fire Kings. Yeah, I mean, Glue Bell has always been glue, right? There's just nothing more to really say about that. Small World is an interesting card. This box has a lot of like heavy hitters, right? I mean, Magical Meltdown is, I mean, it's cool. Nadir's Servant, this card has been like really big for a long time. Rescue Cat has some like really big combo potential. Entis is really good, obviously, when with Punishment. If you want to play Gizmex, you're going to want Uka. Underworld Goddess is like amazing. This is like a pseudo staple that like a lot of people do just run. And then Small World is like that weird card that a lot of rogue decks end up using a lot of the time to kind of just have like a searcher that otherwise wouldn't have one. So it's like, it's a very heavy hitter of a box, which is why I think it's even more scummy that it's a selection box, right? Hey Tomato, why is there a day countdown for Dueling Anniversary? I think they are giving away Rainbow Neos card. I don't know. So the anniversary just means the event starts, right? In the same way that like they let you. I don't think it matters too much. It's just the countdown campaign. Right? It just means the campaign starts then. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the actual like date, right? Cat for Tri Brigade starter. Tri Brigade, fun, beast, beatdown. That's what Cat for. Keras and Kit. I mean, I suppose, like, because you negate them while they're on the field, but when they go to the graveyard, their effects won't be negated, so. Live Twin, easy can make her. I mean, I think a lot of decks can easily make, like, Underworld Goddess, so that's what we're still talking about here. I made a funny, fabled unicorn deck that works half of the time, so having Cat will make it way more consistent and relying on just Obedience School. Obedience School is a really cool card that I do. Like, it's one of those cards that's like, it was really early that it came to Duel Links. Like that card came out with like Baboon, and are they both Green Baboon and the other Baboon? I forget what it's called, but like both the crappy Baboon cards that like special summon themselves. Like they've been out like for so long. Unchained would love Goddess. I mean, I think a lot of decks would like, as long as they're not like locked out of Fiends or something, right? Like, the only real problem with this is you basically have to fill up all of your zones, right? Well, I suppose you don't. You only have to use 3 of yours because you can use one of your opponents. So you have to use 3 of your 4 zones. And one of those has to be a link too, or you use all 4 of your zones. And everything has to be an effect monster. Small World seems useless. So Small World is a weird card, right? It is a weird card. It's typically, I don't know how much competitive success Small World has seen. I typically see Small World played in the TCG in rogue decks, right? I don't know how it's going to translate to Duel Links. Like, I don't know the card pool well enough to be like, oh, you could do this and this, and you could bridge with this. We're getting Rainbow Neos and Pot of Greed Rush for free. So yes, we're getting Rainbow Neos. I mean, the Pot of Greed for Rush is pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to be particularly useful immediately when it comes out, but it'll be cool later. Unchained fills board easily. Small World going to be huge when we get Circular. Oh, we're just going straight all in on the Math Mechs, are we? Also, welcome on in, Dr. Stupid. Small World would be nice in niche decks. Like, I'm happy it exists. Yeah, but I'm a little bit less happy that it's an SR in a selection box. You know? That's how I feel about it anyway. I guess we'll go through these, right? Because I am still curious about some of these, right? Like, some of these I've never even heard of. Like, I'd never read Titanicider before. So, like, that was a neat one. So, Magical Meltdown. When this card is activated, you can add Alistair the Invoker from your deck to your hand. So, if you already have an Alistair, this basically gets you to Invocation. So, like, yeah. The activation of your cards and effects that include the effect that Fusion Summon a Fusion Monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent's card effects cannot activate when a monster is Fusion Summoned this way. So, this is pretty good if you combine this into another archetype. I think traditionally the best one for Invoked was Shaddoll. I don't know how good Shaddoll Invoked is going to be in Duel Links, but it's probably at least playable, right? I don't know if it will outperform Pure, but like, at the very least you could play this as a way to say like, oh yeah, you can't negate my Shaddoll Fusion, right? Small World closest to meta was Circular. Since that card is worth the -1, it could be useful to getting Kaijus. Do we need more searchable Kaijus? Like, isn't Predaplants enough? Do we need that? You know? Hello, Hikari. Welcome on in. We'll give the shout out to Hikari real quick, if I can remember how to do it. That should do it. There we go. Welcome on in. Hikari, who was casting the Cloudy Rush yesterday. I didn't actually manage to catch any of it. I managed to watch some of the VOD this morning. Also, you had your own Rush tournament on Tuesday, and now you're having a Speed tournament on Saturday. Now, I have signed up for the Speed tournament on Saturday, so I should be able to play in it. Fingers crossed I am actually free. And I'll drop that in the chat as well. There you go, everyone. Go sign up to the Speed tournament for Saturday. I believe it's Saturday. It's on the 11th, which is Saturday. Yes. So I'm planning to play in that. We'll see what actually ends up happening. Is Rainbow Neos going to be limit 1, though? Ooh, that's a good question. What else is currently limit 1? Like, what would it conflict with? I guess Super Poly, but like, if you're creating Super Poly from outside of your deck, it doesn't matter, right? But then, if the skill is supposed to work with both Rainbow Neos and Super Poly, then they couldn't limit 1 it, unless they're being very weird with it, right? Hey, hello, Corono. Welcome on in. Now, they made Rainbow Neos skill with Super Poly. Oh, yeah, being SR and selection is scummy, but I enjoy shit like Fur Hires, so having Small World could help the deck out in a funny bridge to get beat. Competitive-wise, I can only think of it linking engines or Kaijus with rogue decks who need to break boards. I mean, yeah. The only problem is, like, Kaijus are, like, such a weird thing. Kaijus feel like a necessary evil. In the same way that hand traps are necessary evil, right? Like, naturally, the way the game went was we make better and better boss monsters that power creep the previous boss monsters, and eventually got to towers. And it's like, well, you can't just make a towers and then the game ends, so we need ways to deal with towers. So then we got things like Kaiju and Kaiju adjacent effects. And in the same way, just the speed of the game got to the point where it was like, my opponent's going to make a board of like infinite negates and I can't interact with them. I need hand traps to be able to interact with him so I can actually just not immediately die going second. And it's like, it's created this weird like arms race where we keep having to create solutions for the problems that Konami has themselves created. It's really weird. It's really weird how that goes. Did I miss the Rush yapping already, or have you started with Speed? We're starting with Speed. So you have not missed anything. Yapsaurus stream, let's go! Hello, Pro Manicist. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a great time. I saw Pro Manicist as well. You were up, like, really late last night. So I don't know when you sleep. I'm genuinely baffled by when Pro Manicist finds time to sleep. Maybe it's just like little bursts, little naps, power naps throughout the day. Super Poly comes from inside the deck with the skill. Only Poly comes from outside. Yeah, there we go then. So it'd be a bit weird to limit one both, right? Okay, but no one on a Sanity would go through such an ass selection box 3 times to play Shaddoll Invoked. I mean, Jorfio might. You know, I'm just saying. Some people might. With the rise of broken skills, Kaijus are needed. I mean, just with the rise of just broken anything, right? Broken monsters, Kaijus are needed. But it's like, it always feels really bad to like make your big guy and then it just gets Kaiju'd and you're just like, oh, great. Especially since Kaijus almost feel like the tamer version, because like the really scummy versions felt like it was like Sphere Mode and Lava Golem. Like those were like the really like, please just stop doing this to me kind of cards. I don't like Kaijus either, but it's necessary evil like you said. Oh god, Magical Meltdown in a selection, yes. It's a big yikes moment. It is a big yikes moment. Yay, I'm in time for the rush yapping. Always in time for the rush yapping. I sleep 5 to 6 hours, all you need. I went to bed at 4:30 this morning, got up at 9. I can't do that. My body wouldn't let me. I don't know if it's because I have a man of a certain age, or if it's because I'm just lazy, but I need my beauty sleep. What can I say? Rush deck building box, haha, again. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Like, the deck build box is, like, it's fine. Again, I said this earlier, but I would have preferred it to be a structure, because I think a structure would cost me less gems or money than a deck build to clear 3 times. I'm pretty sure clearing the deck build is going to eat more of my gems and get me the same number of new cards as a structure would have got me, so it's kind of a bit annoying for me. No, Giorfio hates Shadow and Vote. I know Shadow loves... Shadow. I know Giorfio loves Shadow. I didn't know about his feelings on Invoke. I think it just ended up being the best version. He might just play it anyway. Invoke Dogmatica could be good. It can set up 2 negates and 2 pots with 2 cards after the selection box. Okay. Trying to think what the Dogmatica side of this deck does. The Dogmatica side gets you Punishment, which can send Entis. That's your 2 pops. So the Invoked gets you 2 negates. You get what? Mechaba and... What's the other negate from Shadows? Or is there a negate? Is there a counter trap in thing I'm forgetting about? Probably. Also, welcome on in, BZC. Or Bzk. A Manicist sleep, please! No sleep, only rush. Same thing until box gets released. Will be their anniversary box. Anniversary box, always good. I mean, anniversary boxes are good, but typically there's not a lot of new in it, right? I think historically anniversary boxes have been reprints and alt arts, which are still good. I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bad thing, but it's like... It's not as exciting, let's say. I think the last one was like the Live Twin one, if I recall correctly, and it had like Crow and stuff in it. On the anniversary, I don't know, man. Last year anniversary box volume 1.0. Tomato, all you need to know is get 1 Underworld Goddess for you. I don't think I'm going to even go into this box, to be honest. Like, straight up. I would really like I say, I would like to have the Magical Meltdowns because it's so free to play that just having the whole Invoke deck would be nice, but I'm not going to get it for this. Nadir's Servant, again, I would really like to play Dogmatica. And, Christ, what's it called? Not Albaz. What's the deck called? Why is my brain not working? I can't remember what the deck's called, but you know the one. The Albaz deck. But again, I'm not going to go into this box to get this. Branded, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. I would like to play Branded, but that is not going to happen if Nadir Servant see you are in a selection box. We'll wait until it gets a reprint. Probably in like 6 to 12 months. Maybe longer. We'll have to wait and see. Reprints are always cool. To me, it's Invoked Beast, the same Fabled Unicorn deck. I can have an easier access to Alistair and bring out Mechaba, or when School Locked, a Caliga is great too at limiting my opponent's options to get rid of Unicorn effectively. I mean, that's one of the things, right? I like having the options to play like interesting rogue decks. Because I mean, I basically like live and breathe rogue decks, right? I mean, I'm not a speed competitive player. I used to do that. I'm kind of past that now. Now Rush is kind of my competitive outlet, and even then we don't play it like super crazy competitive. I prefer just like doing random shit in tournaments at this point. If it's a Rush box, I was hooligans for a structure. Now that I managed to nearly catch up. Yeah, I was hoping for one. I was hoping for a structure as well. And now I am again way behind when we need 3 runs again. I mean, you might not... I mean, if you just want to get every single card, yeah, you're going to have to do that, right? That's just how it goes, but... I have to wait 9 months to see it in the main box. Exactly, that's what I was expecting. Hey Murata, welcome on in. Congratulations on the 5-stream streak. Murata is actually one of the biggest Tomato Sauce fans. He is here every single stream. He probably subscribed at some point. He's always here showing us, you know, support and affection. He's always like DMing me like nice things. Like he's definitely just one of the real ones. You know what we're saying? One goddess is useful for almost any deck with space for it. Yeah, it's, like I say, it's basically a staple, like a soft staple. Invoke fans mad. Honestly, Dogmatica Punishment seems pretty cracked with Elder Entity, basically a searchable TTH. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird that they gave us Entis. Like, I kind of get it, but like, this basically just power creeps Punishment, right? I don't know, it's a weird one. Well, it doesn't power creep it, it increases the power of Punishment, right? It just like buffs it up. Honestly, prob not gonna go into the red reboot box. Maybe not to the next box either. The Gohar Uga. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because they could do a they could just do a load of reptiles, right? They could definitely do a load of reptiles in a new box. We'll talk about them more when we get to the rush stuff, but like, there's potential. It's kind of difficult to know what they're going to be doing. Yo, WTF? What's wrong? Oh, here comes the ads. Here's the ads. What's up, Manicist? What's wrong? What's the WTF? Alright, I'm just going to wait for the edges to go by before we continue the yap fest. I really don't like running 1 minute 30 ads. But it gets rid of the pre-rolls. And I think pre-rolls are more annoying than anything else. Gunnian free card, Cobra Star for UO rerun. I mean, yeah. You're using a trap to search treacherous trap hole. Ray spitting facts. Still got 20 seconds. God, these ad breaks, bro. Come on, Twitch. We don't need this. Yeah. Other people have the ads. You don't have them, Shari, because you're specials. You're one of the real ones. Just like Murata. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that should be the ads gone. It's weird they made Goddess an SR, even though it feels kind of bad in Duel Links. I think... I don't know if it feels bad, so much as it's not going to reach its full potential yet. Right? I think the reason it's an SR over a UR is because it's a one-off. Realistically, we've learned that URs is where we put 3-ofs because that gets more money out of people. SRs is where we put 1-offs. So I'm almost a little bit surprised they didn't like try and crank Small World up to a UR just to like screw over the casual players a little bit more. Punishment and Entis is a pop. It's TTH. Yeah, it's 2 pops, which is like really, really good, right? Okay, I'll get her. When you said it's bad, it will be good. They're on the insect hype at the mo. The insects are cool. The new insects. We'll get to that in a minute, though, when we get to that. Amazon in SB is a joke. L9 Ray just followed. Ray, do you just, like, unfollow every now and then? Like, what's going on here? Amazon in SB is a joke. Amazon in SB. I'm trying to, like, dissect what that means, but I'm drawing a blank here. It's very fun how they keep sprinkling all insect supports in here and there. It's very costly. It's not really, because it should be an R. I mean... the thing is, right, you have to look at it from two perspectives, right? Like, how is it right now versus how will it be when we get the rest of the... or when we get more additional support from, like, TCG, OCG, right? Like, I feel like it will become a lot better as we go forward, but I suppose it's a selection box card, so it will eventually become a non-selection box card. I'm surprised Cat isn't a UR. I mean, I guess. Like I said, I don't really know what Cat's doing these days. Other than, like, people are saying it's like a starter for Tri-Brigade, but like... is it going to be like a mandatory 3 of in Tri-Brigade? Like, probably not. Amazement. Ah, right. Amazement. Amazement's another weird one, where this was all in a mini box before, I think, and now putting these in here, again, feels a bit like putting Magic Meltdown in here, where it's like relatively free-to-play decks are just getting punished here, and it just feels really bad. But it seems like an interesting card. I mean, I think it will be okay. I'm not sure how good it's going to be. Normal Cat, activate Veiler. But you send it for cost. So, like, Veiler wouldn't matter, right? No. Wait, I don't know the wording on Veiler. If Veiler is like that card, isn't it getting to the end of the... It's not a quick effect? Yeah, but you can still activate a cost, right? So you can still just send this to the graveyard. It matters if they hit Veiler on summon. I mean, I'll take your word for it. I was under the impression that because this is a cost, you can still pay the cost. Yeah, but it's got no effect on it. Yeah, but if it's no longer on the field, right, it would be like, is it still negated, sort of thing, right? Because the effect is activated on the field. Okay. Well, I mean, that's something, I suppose. Oh. I mean, I feel like Veiler stops a lot of starters, so like it's not like a huge deal. It's like Time Thief Dog. Good old Time Thief Dog. Witchcraft card, but without the quick effect, it dies to Veiler. Ashe. Well, I mean, is there anything else in here that's actually, like, interesting to people? Is anyone interested for Gizmek Uka, the festive fox of fecundity? Is anyone here, like, a Gizmek player? Is anyone sad that Gizmek Uka is an SR in the box? Like, Gizmeks are, like, a really weird one, where I don't really know anyone that plays, like, constructed Gizmeks. They're kind of just, like, generically good cards that people put in other decks, is kind of what I see. Oh, hell yeah, this will make Gizmek tier 0. Now, it sounds like you're being sarcastic, Shui. I don't really know enough about Gizmeks to know... I know that they banish, they summon, they pop, right? But I kind of just know Orochi, like, he's the big one. What do Gizmeks even do? Exactly! So each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster, inflict 300 damage to them. It's like the Tax Dragon. You can only use each effect once per turn. If a monster is special summoned from the main deck, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one face monster you control, special summon one monster from your hand or deck whose attack equals its own defense with the same attribute as that monster. So this just like lets you cheat out a different Gizmek. For the most part, I guess. I'm hella sarcastic. I assumed you were, but you never know through text. You can never truly know. Gizmek, okay. There hasn't been a good Gizmek since Orochi. Like, it doesn't seem like it's too crazy for going first, though. The only thing I know about Uka is that some people tried it in TCG during the Hulk format to summon Barrier Statue of Torrent. Oh, who doesn't love using Hulk to just get out Barrier Statues to floodgate the opponent? Oh, what a great game we play. Goddess without IP. All right. Well, I mean, I think that's kind of it for this stuff. I guess we'll go and talk about some of the rush stuff now. So we have deck build box boost red boot. So deck builds are cool. I like deck builds. I still would have rather this was a structure just because of gem cost. Other than that, it doesn't really make much difference. This is still going to be cost effective if you're going to want all the cards anyway. So it's like whatever, right? Red boot is like a cool card. It's not like crazy. It's not like insane. But like this card is going to be needed at some point. This card does have some spells and traps that work with it. This card does have a couple of fusions. There is going to be more stuff. The big disappointment for me here is that we don't have a really good skill for it. We have a good skill, because the skill is like, if you go second, it's 2 pluses, and you can search a boss monster, you can set up your graveyard, you can search a non-boss monster. It's kind of like toolboxing your deck if your deck is pure dragons, which is like, cool, like the skill's not bad, but I don't think it allows this to remotely compete with Psychics, with Dark Galaxy, with Metarion, Cyber Dragons even. I don't know. I don't see this. This is going to go in the bin of, look at all of these Go Rush decks that still don't do anything because they haven't got a broken skill. As opposed to like the 2 Galaxy decks, which are doing stuff because they have broken skills, right? And that's just what it kind of feels like. All of the Go Rush stuff so far is mediocre unless it gets a broken skill. And I don't think this is a broken skill. So, Big eh. The only time I used Gizmek Yata, used it Funny Gradius, Goddess in Crystal Beast, Dragon Fusion gonna be fun now. Red Boot needed more. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. Red Boot really looks like Red Eyes. It might be a Red Eyes card. I mean, it is a Red Eyes retrain, right? It is a Red Eyes homage in the same way that Blue Fang is a Blue Eyes homage, right? That's how it goes. Mirror Gear Star, the real Protag. Yeah, Mirror Gear Star is more exciting to me, but it's still not bonkers. Like, it's good. It's not bonkers. It's like fine. But I think we're going to start seeing something for Anniversary, because this is not a lot. Probably, I think, like, Anniversary box could make sense. We got the first one last year. If it's going to be a thing, they would release another one this year. It'll probably just be a bunch of reprints. I'm not expecting anything, like, too crazy. 2400 attack. Hello, Grand. Welcome on in. Yeah, Red Boot is, so it's meant to be sort of like a Sevens Road Magician. Sevens Road only has 2100 attack, but it can boost to be really big. Now, the problem with that right now is we already have, like, Requiem, which is a 25 that can boost up to 4k. Which means that's kind of the new standard. And this guy can only get +7, right? He can go up to 31, which is not a particularly big number. Now, the reason he has 2400 attack, like, I guess, is just because it has to be weaker than Blue Fang, because Red Eyes is weaker than Blue Eyes. Which is not a great reason, but I think that's the one we have. This card is still, like, gonna see play eventually, assuming they don't, like, screw them over with skills and stuff. I think this will be like a fun rogue deck to play right now. I don't think this is going to be like super competitive, but you can still burn your opponent for 700. You can still boost its attack by 7, and like we say, it will get a fusion. This is going to be its like primary fusion. It will get another one later, which will be like Darkness, but that's like, that goes into a whole bunch of like anime stuff. This is going to be the primary boss monster, and it's just the same card. It's the same card, but the damage is 200 instead of 100. And the amount of attack boost it gets is 200 instead of 100. The other benefit here is that this one can do any graveyard. So you can basically like put all of your cards from your graveyard back into your deck, burn them for 7, then fuse it off into Enhanced, shuffle 9 from their graveyard back into their deck, burn them for 18. Then you gain 1800 attack, and like that will be like actually competent. Like that will be a kind of good strategy, especially considering you'll get all the fusion support cards for these, which are actually okay. Red Boot on its own, kinda mid, not gonna lie, not eh. Mirror Gens is the key of boss. How many Red Eyes fusion in Rush? Like just Red Eyes in general? Like quite a lot. Like if we're talking about Red Boot fusions, there's only 2. Only Meteor. No, there's loads of red eyes. If we come over here, we can just literally search red eyes, and you'll be able to see. So this is a red eyes one. Black Dragon Skull Archfiend. We've got Black Skull Dragon. We've got Meteor Black Dragon. We've got Meteor Black Drake. We've got Meteor Black Mars Dragon. Is that all of them? Yeah, it's all of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 different fusions for specifically red eyes. Anniversary box. Probably because they don't want to power creep the 7 stuff with Go Rush cards. I mean, yeah. I assume they're going to wait and give us the fusion stuff for the Go Rush. Like, when we get there, right? After we get, like, equip spells and stuff, right? I assume that will happen. That's how I predict it's going to go. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. As a Red Eyes fan, I'm happy Red Boot is in the game. Would really happily get the deck to have fun with it, even if it's not very good. The thing is, I don't think it's going to be bad. It's just not going to be, like... It's not going to, like, dominate tournaments. You're not going to see this... Like, this could... Like, any deck can win a tournament if you just get lucky, right? But this could top, right? I'm not going to say it's, like, flat out just bad, but it's realistically not going to compete very well against any of the other good decks in the format. It's going to be, like, tier, like, 4 or 5, right? Where it's playable, it will be fine, it's not going to be a big contender. That's kind of how I predict it's going to go. Yuamu finally has a deck. I mean, it will be a playable pile. We'll see, I guess. I think the skill is actually okay. I think a lot of people are shitting on the skill. I think the skill is actually okay. Skills that plus you generally are quite good. Especially if you don't just get the plus to, like, reimburse you for the fusion materials. Lightwave is an R-Trust. Oh, could you imagine? I don't think they would do that. But if they did, that would suddenly be very, very good. I don't think so. I think the skill is for Flip and Flap Dragon. Yes. That is basically what I'm thinking as well. They just refuse to make Yuamu meta. It's because, like... Yuamu... A lot of decks in Rush, in general, kinda suck until you get to their fusions. As soon as we get their fusions, everything suddenly starts to make a lot more sense. Everything starts to work. It's like, I mean, we can go and look at Oblivion, right? As soon as we get Oblivion's fusions, you don't need to rely on, you know, Secret Order and Meteor Charge. You don't need to rely on those anymore. The deck just has, like, an actual win condition. When it comes to Dark Galaxy, trying to remember what any of those cards are called. We're just going to search Dark Galaxy. And we'll search Fusion as well. So we're not going to look at the Dark Matter stuff, because that's like its own kettle of fish. But if we take those out, we still get Voidveil Apocalypse. Absolutely fantastic boss monster. Chaos Markia is a bit weird, but like it's still pretty good. Gigantomachia is too hard to summon, so we don't really care about that. But Protostar, absolutely fantastic. Theogonia, really, really good. It's been power crept a little bit since it came out, but still very, very, very strong. Like, Darkness Doom Giant, also pretty good. Like, a lot of these decks, like Jointech is probably the only one that's been kind of shit the whole time. Which is a really big shame. So Jointech, like, has some okay fusions, right? I'm not going to, like, absolutely shit on Jointech, but in the physical game, these have really struggled to do much of anything impactful. So the best ones we got is, like, Jointech Killer Stinger and Jointech Fighter. Jointech Fighter is actually pretty good. Killer Stinger is, like, potentially good, but it's been really, really struggling a lot. And when it came out, I think, like, it topped, like, a tournament and hasn't done, like, anything since. So, like, very much struggle street. Oh god, please no. And the Spiel Fusion sends 7 cards from the grave. Yeah. The Archetype Fusion for this card does fill up the graveyard to fulfill its effective condition, yeah. In my opinion, Flip and Flap Dragon are actually useful. That's why Yuhi now uses Hybrid deck, in my opinion. So Flip and Flap Dragon are good. The only issue with them is the cost of sending a card from your hand, which means you're not plussing off this. You're spending a card to... Right, if you can fulfill the second part of this effect, right, you're breaking even. And then the bonus you're getting after breaking even is that you're just changing your opponent's battle position, which is still good. But it's not nuts, right? I think what we really want is this card to not have a discard cost, and then it would be actually fantastic. It would be ridiculously good, which is the reason it doesn't. But the problem is, these cards came out so late into Go Rush's life, there are already so many really unfair cards that by comparison to all of those unfair cards, Flip and Flap Dragon feel a bit mid. I mean, they do get a maximum though. The Joint Tech maximum though also kind of sucks. It's arguably one of the worst maximums. It's still playable, and it has the gadget thing of all your guys are like low level, so you could just like summon them out and tribute them off as fodder, which is like, that's nice. But I think because of that, they made it naturally weaker, which is a bit disappointing. The only meta version of the deck, the best of them all, Jointech plus Void Velger plus Abyskite. Hyperdrive is kind of nice. Hyperdrive is... Right, Hyperdrive now, with all the latest support we've got, is a lot better than it was. Hyperdrive, before we got... Christ, what was his name? Before we got the guy that gives them piercing. Before we got Barrier Tail. So pre-Barrier Tail, Hyperdrive were a bit weak, but now we have Barrier Tail, it's actually kind of good. So this guy is just 2400 level 7, which seems a bit mid, right? But if you have Hyperdrive Screwdriver, you can normal summon this without tributing, so it's just a free 2400 body. Continuous effect. If this card attacks defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. If the attack of the attack... it doesn't matter. If you have a face-up dragon type monster on your field, face-up dragon type and machine type monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by card effects, or your opponent's card effects. Which again, you're going to have a dragon because you're going to have Screwdriver. So like, as soon as Barrier Tail came out, this deck suddenly got like really good. And Barrier Tail is genuinely like a really strong card. Hybrid is very weak in the card game. Oh yeah. Don't. Right. The thing to remember is, right, you have to take a look at, are we talking about specifically what is dominating and winning tournaments versus what actually makes the deck playable, right? Hyperdrive has topped tournaments. It has performed to an okay level. Is it a dominant deck that's like tier 1? No. Has it ever been a dominant tier 1 deck? No. Is it good enough to top tournaments and be like a tier 3 deck? Yes. That's kind of the level you get to. I mean, it was in top 8 of some tournaments, but yes, it's not meta. Yeah, that's basically what we're trying to get at. What happened to Hyperdrive anyway? You used it in like a few ep and then it just vanished. So he used it because he was merging like his deck and Yuamu's deck for like story relevance, right? And then when Yuamu came back into the story and started playing her own deck again, there was no real reason to use it anymore. But Yuhi's always been in a weird spot where Yuhi is never really like... He's a bit like Yuga in that he's never really the guy that wins all of his games. He's never the main character. He's always kind of a side character, which is a bit weird. Like, Udius is obviously the main character. He wins, like, almost every single duel he's in. He uses 7s in the moment. I mean, yes, technically that is true, but there's a lot of baggage to unpack there when we get into that. But yeah, Red Boot's cool. Do I think it's going to be really, really strong? Probably not. I mean, I guess we'll take a look at the skill quick, since we're talking about him. So RB Drive can be activated from turn 2 onward if all the monsters in your constructed deck are dragon types. So that's already quite a big restriction, but that's normal for dragons. Dragons get a lot of cards that specifically say if all the cards in your graveyard are dragons and high dragons. Like, I think right now we have Dragiastar already that says this, so like, this is whatever. And then Blue Fang and Red Boot are the only level 5 or higher. So multi-choice effect, we can take 2 cards, a Red Boot Boost Dragon and or a level 4 or lower light attribute monster. So we can basically just take 2 level 4 or lower lights if we want, which is already pretty good. That means we could take Flip and Flap, right? From your deck, add 1 into your hand, send the other to the graveyard. So if we put cards in the graveyard, that can fuel Red Boot Dragon's effect. If we have Flip and Flap, then obviously we want the other one in the graveyard, so we can immediately have access to that. The downside is this effect can only be used once going first and twice going second. So this restriction on it is a bit weird, right? Because skills going second should be stronger, right? That's fine. But the way we've done that so far is that we have this line. Can be activated from turn 2 onwards. So you say, you can't use the skill on turn 1. Therefore, you are now not getting this ridiculous advantage going first, right? Because going first in Rush is absolutely nuts, right? It is so powerful to go first compared to going second. Most of the time, right? Sometimes you'll get screwed, but that just comes down to bad luck at the end of the day. Having an additional effect that hurts you for going first feels a bit like, I don't know. It feels like we're double dipping. We're saying if you're going first, not only can you not use the skill on turn 1, you also only get to use it once. And that feels kind of bad. I'm not sure I like the double hate on going first. If this was standardized across all skills and every skill had an additional negative for going first, then that would be kind of fine. But this just kind of feels like we're just dicking on this dragon deck, which feels kind of bad. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that personally. And then one face-up monster on your opponent's field loses 400 attack at the end of this turn. So this is fine. Reducing their attack is like kind of whatever. I mean, if you think about it, you can get your red boot up to 31, and then you can reduce your opponent by 400, so it can now crash with a 35, or it can attack over a 34. I don't know how relevant that's actually going to be. Off the top of my head, I can't think of many like relevant 35s and 34s like specifically. So like, and it's not a big enough reduction to realistically make Bluetooth suddenly work on things. Like, it might be that little extra you need. Like, maybe you've... I don't even know, because I feel like if you use, like, TSA on something, you just won't need an extra boost to kill it with Bluetooth. So it's like other small boosts you're using. Might want this is like the little extra. Are you playing today in the EDO Pro tournament? I was thinking about joining too, but I don't really know how to play the good decks. Is the EDO tournament today? Let me have a look quick. So for me, that's tomorrow. I don't know if that's today for you guys, but for me, this is tomorrow. And yes, I am signed up. That's me. That's my face right there. But yeah, the plan is to play in it. I'll chuck this in chat as well. So this is Mono's EDO Rush Tournament. This is the Rush Weekly number 0. So weekly means this is a written contract that Mono has now promised to run this every single week, right? There is no backing out now. I was thinking about joining too, but I don't really know how to play the good decks. Just join for fun. You can play some matches on EDO Pro as well. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You just play for the fun, right? You don't have to play to win, right? You just play just to have a good time, right? I got some time now. Maybe try out a few decks. They made this a negative, but hero skill a positive. Yeah, it's a bit weird how that kind of works out, but I suppose on the speed end of things, they want to allow decks to kind of keep up with the speed of the faster decks. Because, I mean, realistically, Heroes... Well, Heroes is a weird one, because it's one of those decks that's been around for so long that it has, like, a modern iteration, as well as, like, a really old iteration. So maybe that's not a good comparison. But, like, I can understand some skills and speed plussing a ridiculous amount to make them try and keep up with more modern decks. What I don't like is when a modern deck gets a skill that pluses them out the arse, and then I'm like, well, now, who is this benefiting? Hey, 30 stream streak from Zaki Boys. Welcome on in, my friend. Also, the tournament is tomorrow, by the way, not today. That's some time test decks. Modern Hero is good end board spam, but they seem to want it to be old hero style in modern times. Yeah, I guess. Like, as far as I know, in TCG, you basically make, like, Dark Law, and then you set up, like, a couple points of interaction, and then... Because what was the play that people were doing before? You would, you'd give your opponent, something. You'd give them, like, a Destiny Hero card, and, like, throw that on their board. I'm not a big hero player in, like, TCG, but, like, I'm pretty sure that's kind of the gist. Dark Law Plasma. Yeah, Plasma for the, Monster Negate as well. It's basically just like a floodgate deck, right? So it's like... it's a weird one. Whereas like old Heroes was this like fusion toolbox deck, and I think that's what they would rather it be. I think that's more exciting, but I don't know. But RB Drive, this is fine. It's getting free cards is always good. If you only get a +1 from this skill, it's kind of whatever. If you get 2 free pluses, that's really good. So it's like, eh. It was the Angel dude that summons to the opponent's board, yeah. Now, they want Duel Links heroes to be aggro in general. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, in general, I think Floodgates are bad, in general. Some Floodgates are fine. Most Floodgates are crap, is kind of how I look at it. Duel Links specifically is supposed to be the fast version of the game, right? It's speed duels, right? I mean, obviously that name only came around after Rush, right? But Duel Links is always supposed to be bite-sized Yu-Gi-Oh! We can play games very quickly. You can play it while you're traveling. You can do things very fast. And Floodgates are the exact opposite of that. I was almost a little bit surprised they brought out Ghost Trick. Not because of anything being problematic in Ghost Trick, just because Ghost Trick just naturally feels like they should play slower games. And I feel like that just kind of goes against what they want. It's like in Rush, the deck I feel like that was hurt the most. I suppose the first one was Hell Tuning Invasion. And that's because, again, Hell Tuning Invasion was very problematic. It was very overpowered for the time it came out. And then the other one was the Noodle deck, right? And that's because they were like, oh, we don't want a stall deck in Rush Duels on Duel Links. And that's completely fair, right? Okay, give Absolute Zero. Ab-Zero would be so... I would really like Ab-Zero. I think that's a really fun card, personally. Gears Dragon deck is much better than High-Tech Dragons. Gears Dragon deck. Gears. Oh, Gears. Right. I'm on the same page. Like, yeah, for the most part. I think when you get to the fusions, it can flip around a little bit, but it depends what you're kind of going for, right? Did you talk about the new Metarian skill? No, we haven't talked about that yet. We kind of skipped ahead. We're still only actually on Red Boot. We haven't even talked about Fantasia Strike Dragon yet, so... I mean, I suppose we can talk about it quick, because we talk about the skills anyway. But Mystical Script is like... This skill is... I think Mystical Script is a fun skill. I think there'll be some fun things you can do with it, right? Basically, the way I kind of see this skill being played is that you summon Snake Clown and you summon Daigateno, or not Dai, just Gyakateno, and then you just play like level 6 and level 5 beats. And I think that in itself could be like a really funny way, because you can use Snake Clown, who starts out as a 17, and get him up to 26 with the skill, because it gains the 900, and you can use Gyakateno and get it up to 27. Now, is that good? No. Is it funny? Yes. I think it could be amusing to play this deck. The thing is, this part of the skill is like, it's fine, it's whatever. This part of the skill is just kind of, I get it, it's fine. But like, Mythical Script, best skill for insects. The problem is it doesn't work with insects because of the requirement. If all the cards in your constructed deck are light attribute monsters with 500 defense and or fairy monsters with 2000 defense, unfortunately insects don't fall into that category. Is it even better than the old Gyakateno skill? Probably not, realistically. The issue is Metarian is in a good spot right now. So like, they don't need a new busted skill. If anything, what people wanted was get rid of Type Change Beam, give you a skill that gives you a soft Type Change Beam, and call it a day. And even Search Fusion, right? Because then you are giving the Metarian players what they want, which is like infinite access to Type Change Beam, but it's weaker, so you don't now have to worry about drawing into it. You give them infinite access to Fusion, so now you don't have to worry about drawing into it. And you've now removed like the FTK part of the deck, which is the part of it that non-Metarian players don't like about the deck. So it's like, I feel like that would have just solved so many problems, and it's just kind of not. This doesn't do anything. This like sidesteps it, and they're just like, oh, just don't worry about it. We got this. It's fine. Insect best free-to-play deck? I mean, unironically, it's very fun to play. Like, it's very enjoyable. Oh, damn. Then goodbye, new skill. With new boss might be. What, Dynastorcus? Dynastorcus, is fine. I think Dynastorcus... I would have preferred Dynastorcus if it came out before Fusions. And I think that just makes sense, right? It doesn't work on level 9s, right? That inherently is a bad thing. I did a prediction video before where I said I would have liked them to bring them out very early because by the time Dynastorcus came out in the physical game, it was already past its prime. Right? We were already at the point where everyone was summoning level 9s and higher, and we're sort of there again now. But I think there still can be some use for it. I'm playing TCB anyway. The new boss is fine. Yeah, I think the new boss is fine. Again, is the insect deck going to suddenly be crazy? Is it going to win tournaments? Is it going to do blah, 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 blah? No, it's not. It's not. It's just not. The only good thing is that it's 3,000 attack. I see that's the other thing, is people are getting cross signals about whether we're talking about Cobra Star and Dynastorcus. That's the other, weird part about this. If Metarian players could search Fusion, then they'd never have anything to complain about. Where's the fun in that? Well, the issue is that right now, Metarian players complain they don't get Fusion, and non-Metarian players complain that they get OTK'd by Type B Mashura Star. So, right now, no one's happy. Whereas I feel like we could just make a skill that makes everyone happy, and that would be, the best way to go about it, but maybe I'm crazy. The only time I lose a Metarian is if I just don't draw Fusion, and it sucks. Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, it's an ad break. Has anyone been caught by the ads? Has anyone dodged the ads? That's the question. Has anyone here just, completely avoided the edges altogether? It's the annoying thing when we're trying to do, a breakdown, right? We're trying to, yap about stuff. People don't want to miss the yap. So, whenever we get into ads, it's always oh, well, we're just going to do a hard stop. If we're in the middle of, a duel, you just keep playing, because you can't just, wait a minute and a half for the duel. That's just not how that works. But yeah, of the stuff we talked about so far, I think that the Red Boot stuff is fine. And I think the Metarian stuff is funny, right? I think it's going to make, more rogue decks than anything. Back from ads? That was quick. Welcome back from the ads, Akunda. We're apparently still in the break for another 30 seconds, so we're just going to wait for that. But, yeah, I mean, of the stuff we talked about so far, I don't really see any of it being, super meta impactful, realistically. For now, I can say one thing. Insect is best 0 gem deck. L9 Ray comes in with the cojones. The man. The myth. The legend. Alright, 4 seconds and we're back from the edges, boys. We're almost there. We've almost made it to the other side. Welcome back, anyone who had the ads. We basically took a break, so you didn't miss anything. But, yeah, Mystical Script, meh. RB Drive, I think this skill's actually kind of good. I think we don't have the cards yet to make good use of this, but potentially this could be good in the future when we get better Light Dragon targets. I assume by the time we get the Red Boot Fusions, we'll have a better skill than this, so it probably won't matter anyway, but potentially that could be used. We've got Cobra Star, which is super mid. Cobra Star's kind of bad. Cobra Star is good if you are desperate to find a trap card and you just need to draw 2, send 2, and just pray you find a legend trap, right? Otherwise, Cobra Star's kind of whatever. Just being able to attack twice is nice. I just don't know how often that's going to come up. And obviously, it's one of those ones where you have to send a card for your hand to the graveyard, which is not ideal either. I'm pretty sure ad length is based on country. Most of my ads are 30 seconds or less. I mean, that's good then. I mean, at least you don't have to deal with them. Because flying Kamikari is a huge difference. Joke's on you. This is second Metarian Fusion what I can make. I mean, as long as you're having a good time. Crash Bandicoot main menu OST. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, Kamikari 2. It's nice to have another 15. That's 2 15s for the insects now. And Dynastorcus is actually okay. Oh, here we go. Dynastorcus, in the current meta, right? This doesn't work on fusions. What does this work on? It works on Dragius, which is seeing play. It works on everything in Dark Galaxy. It works on everything in Light Galaxy. It works on everything in Good Stuff Machines. It works on basically nothing in Metarian. Like, Metarian just kind of dodges this. It works on just about everything in Cyber Dragon, except like Cyber End. I mean, what else even is there in the meta? That's kind of it for like the big meta decks. So like, this still hits a lot. This is still going to be really, really good, right? Song request, no. The bot will not let you post links, Ray. You're not allowed. It works on Ancient Gear. It does work on Ancient Gear. Which is, I mean, to be... this is arguably... Because one of the problems we actually ran into was when we were using Daigeka Tenno, we were like, we can't get rid of Ancient Gear Golem because it was the only monster on the field. And to use Daigeka Tenno, it needs to hit 2 things. This actually gets around that, which is very funny. The downside is that this turn you can only attack with insect monsters, does clash with Daigeka Tenno. So then it becomes like, would you rather play Daigeka Tenno or just Dynastorkus? Right? And then it's like, well, if you're playing Dynastorkus and not Daigeka Tenno, then you need to find a new skill. It's awkward. It's awkward. In before Limit 3? I mean, I doubt it, but it could be, especially since they have Limit 1'd their other destruction spell. So, like, Because, like, if we're talking about, like, specifically the insects, right? We've got nearly all of the insects now, right? So we don't have Metal Armored Ant yet. This is just, like, a random-ass insect card we don't have. And by the way, we're literally going to go through all of the insects that we don't have, right? So we don't have Metal Armored Ant. This guy's just a level 7, 100, 2500. So it's like, whatever, right? JD Scrub, welcome on in. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Metal Armored Ant, it's kind of whatever. I'm surprised we don't have this card yet. We got loads of 2500 defenses. No reason for this card not to come out. Then there's like Princess Ladybug White. Change this card's battle position. Then you can special summon up to 2 level 4 low insect monsters from your hand. So this is crap, right? This effect is crap. But we can inflict 700 damage to our opponent. So that's what you're basically getting for this. This is okay only because there are some cards that want you to have a face-up defense position insect. But this isn't even the best one. So it's like, kind of whatever, if we're being honest. Mono, do you think the tournament will be like everyone plays meta, or more like playing fun decks? I know of 4 decks I could play, maybe 2 meta, 2 fun. When it comes to that specifically, I will say it depends who signs up, right? Like, if... like, I think these will be, like, meta-adjacent without being, like, super tryhard. But, like, we have had a few people join the server that are, like, very veteran Rush players that play, like, the Rush OCG. And if they do enter the tournament, I would expect them to bring something a bit more powerful. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Volt is a good example. There was also... who else was it? There was another name I saw. Infi is also signed up. So, like, if Infi actually ends up playing in the tournament, very, very strong player, several tournament wins under a belt, probably going to do performing very, very well. Terra play OCG Rush as well from RDL. It's one of those things, though, where, like, you can have a lot of experience in playing the game, but, like, if you don't have a history of winning a lot of tournaments, I'm still not going to put you in the same category as, like, Volt and Infi, right? So yeah, this is the next one. This is just a crappy... but again, we are literally going through all the remaining insects because there aren't that many of them. So we're just covering all of them. This is just one of them. It's a bit naff. It's a vibrant ladybug whose trademark are the stars on its back, and even today it brings happiness while drawing a rainbow in its trail. Very important card. So then we get the Fantasy Ladybug Pastel. It's just another one, a kind-hearted ladybug whose trademark is the heart on its back. It is said that if you touch it, your love will come true. And then we get to the Delirium stuff, because that's literally it, right? It's Metal Armored Ant, it's Ladybug White, it's the other 2 Ladybug cards, and then it's just these 2. Right, these are the only other 2 insect cards that are out right now. Now, we're just literally about to get a new box that has a load more insect cards in, or the new Delirium stuff. But we've almost got all of the insects. We've got nearly all of them. So it wouldn't take much now to get a little push and just get the rest of them out. The big insect stuff is missing, is Delirium, yeah. So Papillon's really good, right? So change this attack position card to face-up defense position. So first off, there are several insect cards that want you to have face-up defense position. So being face-up defense is relevant. One face-up monster opponent's field becomes insect this turn. Again, very important effect. We want lots of ways to change our opponent's monsters into insects to make all of our effects live. Then if we have another face-up defense position on the field, or if another face-up defense position monster is on the field, so this can count your opponents as well, draw a card. So absolutely fantastic. A 3+, as well as getting a face-up defense position on the field to turn on effects, as well as changing an opponent's monster to an insect to turn on effects. Absolutely fantastic card for the insect strategy. Can't play Delirium right because not out in physical yet. So there are two. Two of them you can... Oh, if you're talking about in the tournament, no. The tournament will be played on the Friday, and the new set comes out on the Saturday. So they will not be legal. None of the new stuff. But then we get the other Delirium, Lampress. Now this card is obviously not out. It's not coming out yet. But this card has seen a ton of tournament play. This is a side deck card that is seeing a ton of play even right now. So this is Delirium Lampress. So if your opponent has 2 or more monsters on their field, you can send this face-up card from your field and 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. So you -2. Take control of 1 face-up, level 5 to 8 monster from your opponent's field with the same type as the monster sent from the hand to the graveyard to meet the requirement. So this is very important. There are not many cards in Rush that take control of your opponent's guy. So this is actually a really, really big effect. And this is a permanent steal. It does not say until the end of the turn. You just get to yoink their guy and keep it, which is absolutely fantastic. So I wouldn't be surprised if this card didn't come out for a while. But like all of the other insect cards we've talked about, they could probably come out and be fine, right? But we've been kind of being drip-fed these insects, and it'd be nice if we could just get like the rest of them. So the other insect cards really is just going to be like the traps. Like Ancient Barrier is like... This is a good card. It's basically the insect combat trick. So it's like lose 800 attack, which is like good. 800 is a decent chunk, obviously it's bigger than 500. The reason we're not going to get this is because of this second line. Then if a face-up defense position insect monster is on the field, you can destroy the attacking monster. They don't want to give us Sakuretsu armor because the trap cards we already have are very bad. So we're not going to get this for a while, not at least until we get a lot of other good traps, right? Then there's Antiberti Flag. Again, special summon an insect monster with 100 or less attack from your hand or graveyard. They're not going to give us this because they haven't given us any of the other traps that special summon monsters. And there are so many of them, unless we get them all at once, which I assume will happen eventually. We're not going to get this. Then there's Giant Revolution, which is basically level 8 or lower Bira Force, which, again, we're not going to get because we don't have any good traps. So that's kind of it for that. And that was kind of our little detour onto the insect stuff. So now back to the box, as we're doing this in a very strange order. We have Fantasia Strike Dragon Mirror Gear Star F. Now, this card is really cool because we can send the top card of it to the graveyard. Up to 3 face-up monsters in your opponent's field lose 1500 attack to the end of this turn. So if your opponent has 3 face-up monsters, we're reducing them all by effectively 4500, which means we effectively have an extra, like, sort of 4500 damage to get through, if you think about it like that. This turn, he can make 2 attacks on monsters, or just attack directly. 3000 direct attack is good. It's pretty good. We did say this a little bit earlier, but I think 3000 direct attack is going to be less impactful in a psychic meta, just because hitting someone for half their life is really good. Hitting someone who's on like 10,000 for 3,000 is not as good. So I think that's going to be the main issue this is going to have. Obviously, this will just fall over to Widespread Ruin as well. But as long as people are still playing Negate Attack, then that won't matter as much. But this card's still really, really cool. I still really like this card. I think this card will see some play. I don't know if I think this is stronger than Dragear Star F. Dragear Star F, I think, is a little bit more impactful a lot of the time. Dragear Star F is better at punishing defense position monsters. It's generally better at closing games in more scenarios. But being able to attack directly is also a nice boon, so it's like... I think realistically, you'd probably play 4 bosses in the Dragon Fusion deck right now, and you would either do like 2 Dragius, 2 Mirror Gear Star, or you do like 3 Dragius, 1 Mirageus, and go like that kind of split. If you did go 2 Dragius, you would have room for like another limit 3, which could be fun, but I don't really know if that will be the way to play it. I'm looking forward to testing with this card at the very least. And because we've already got a skill that works with it, we don't have to worry about getting a new skill with it. So that's just fantastic, right? The Dragon. I don't think so. The Bluetooth fusion. Do we have an alt art for Bluetooth? I think we do. I mean, we can have a gander. We can go and have a look. Blue Bang. I think it's its new. Has it been updated on here? Is the question. But maybe it hasn't. Yeah, still Bluetooth on here. Okay, so we have. This is the first Bluetooth. Then we have this one, which is like the galaxy background, just to kind of compare the two. It's a little bit darker, it's a little bit smaller. Then we have this one with the hieroglyphs in the background. And that's it. That's all of our arts. It's basically the same position every time, but it's got like different backgrounds. Behold the power. Now the deck doesn't depend on only Dragius. Mirageus is free. I mean, kind of. The one that I really want is this one. I still want Sturdy Strike Dragon Metagear Star F. The only issue with this card is the real benefit of it was protecting you from trap cards. But we still don't really have trap cards that pop guys. So it's like... it's kind of whatever, right? Like... historically, this has always been the one that has had like a lot of impact, the Sturdy Strike. But that was in a meta where everyone's playing 3 Mirror Force, right? So like, if no one's playing Mirror Force, why do you need Metagear Star? But yeah. So now we'll talk a little bit about Whispering Fairy. Whispering Fairy is a card that did actually see a lot of play. For the longest time, this was the best wind spellcaster. So every spellcaster list was playing Whispering Fairy. Whispering Fairy is decent. The requirement is a little bit steep for this card, unfortunately. Sending a card from your hand to the graveyard is almost never going to be worth it to shuffle 2 cards your opponent's graveyard into the deck. But in some situations, it'll be worth it. This card did see a little bit more play during the Sevens Geas meta. When you wanted to stop the Sevens Wonder Fusion from basically Miracle Fusioning from the graveyard, you would use the Whispering Fairy to get rid of your opponent's Dragius and Sevens Road from the graveyard, put them back into the deck so they couldn't fuse. Other than that, nothing really notable about this. Wispark Fairy Girl, again, shuffles cards to your opponent's graveyard for, again, a cost of a card from your hand. It's not particularly good. Weakening your opponent's monsters is also not very good, so, like, also kind of mid. Then we get the Flip and Flap Dragon. Flip and Flap Dragon are good. We talked about these a little bit earlier, but, like, having to send a dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard is a bit of an annoying cost. Because sometimes you don't want to send a dragon, right? Sometimes you just want to send a card. And you don't really want to send anything anyway. But being able to change face down, face up means it's a way to get to your opponent's life points. As well as you could flip things face up and then reduce their attack with Miragear Star. So if your opponent's got like 1 face up monster, 2 face down, you could flip 1 up, then use Miragear Star to weaken 2 of them, and effectively get like an extra 3,000 damage in. Which is like, okay. You then obviously have to make sure you contribute off your flip dragon or your flap dragon, but like, there is potential there. And these cards have seen a bit of play. These cards are especially good just because they are dragons, and a lot of the dragon cards lock you into dragons. So because of that, you want as many good low-level dragons as you can get, and Flip and Flap dragons are 2 of the better low-level dragons, so they will see play, right? So with that, then we go on to, I suppose, the Arm Neos Thunder EX deck. I'm not really sure what's going to go on with this, like, because what's the Thunder part of this? Like, is there going to be more cards in here that are, like, going to be the Thunder, like, Arm Dragon Thunder cards? Yeah, Crosskeeper and Arm Neos. Yeah. Can't use Flip Flap with Star Replacer still. Rip. Excuse me, that's a turtle? What do you mean? That's a dragon. Look at it, a little dragon. I think they're supposed to be, like a mouse. But I generally don't know what they're actually supposed to be. Yeah, the hero stuff is like funny. Necro Garden is going to come out limit 3. Space Turtle Dragon. The more I test an EDO Pro, the more I appreciate skills and Duel Links actually helping fix hands and such stuff. Yeah, I mean, I still... If you were to ask me what I prefer out of like OCG and Duel Links, I think I would lean more towards OCG, but Duel Links is very fun in its own right because of the skills. The deck diversity is very different. The skills do allow for more consistency. There are some things that were designed to be playable in the OCG that just weren't in practice, and skills can make them actually good. I'm thinking like Ancient Arise Dragon, right? People would never play Clear Ice or Burning Blaze in the OCG, but they have seen a lot of play in Duel Links, right? And that's the sort of thing that I really appreciate Duel Links for. I mean, the only other thing I really wanted to touch on is this, right? This thing. Because anyone that's watched the show should know that the Goha helmets have like a weird AI inside them, and it did create some funny moments. One of them led to the Luke Man, so that was a really cool thing. So we're already getting some Luke Man cards, like we're getting the Fantasia Strike Mirror Gear Star, right? So like that's something. But the other time this was very impactful was when it took control of Mimi and Mimi, and we did see it use Vice Jacker. So this could be hinting that we'll be getting Vice Jacker soon. But Vice Jacker is bad. It's a bad card. Unless we got a skill with it to make it somewhat playable. But then, the issue with a card like this is you could make it too good, right? Like, so for example, if you were able to easily get this out, let's say you had a skill that just like cheat this out for free. You could then stick this onto a Star Transferred out Requiem, boost up to 4,000 attack, and now it's a double attacking, piercing, like 4,000 guy, right? You know, Vice Jacker's a weird one, but you know, I just thought we'd mention it because, you know, the Goha helmet that was relevant to Vice Jacker. This might be a thing that comes. The problem with Duel Links is when some deck get a search skill and some decks don't. That is a problem. I think some decks can have a search and some decks don't have to. It depends on the power level of the deck, right? If you're a very, very strong deck without the search, but you get the search, that I think is a problem. More so than some decks having a search is bad when other decks don't, right? Because that is a way to tailor a deck's power level, is by saying, do you have a search, right? Suddenly your deck is more consistent, maybe it has a lower ceiling, right? I think that's kind of fine. OCG Rush, everyone is kind of on the same level. Again, they're not really, because like some decks can like power mill into the graveyard a lot easier. Some decks have a lot more access to their graveyard of like toolboxing it. So like there are still disparities between the consistency level of decks in the OCG. It's not like suddenly every deck in the OCG is the exact same consistency level. Now I get what you're saying in that there is not a disparity between some decks can search and some decks can't. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're always still playing on the same even playing field, right? A level 8 1500 attack, no thank you. But look how cool he is, look at the big eyes. Also, the President Matt is blue, which means Abyss support, and also a digital, so that means it's not a computer. No, I think you're just reaching at that point. I think there is a chance though that these, because there's the mat and the sleeve, right? They're clearly for something, right? Like, why would you just release them randomly? Like, we're getting Pot of Greed because we're getting a Pot of Greed, like, anniversary event. This is also anniversary event. These are all anniversary events. And then the other one we're getting is just like this. Like, it's very weird to have it there, like, as its own thing. Now, it could just literally be that they're going to do, I don't know, the next event after Tag is going to be, like, some Goha-themed event. But, like, the helmet itself as well doesn't really have a lot of relevance to, like, UO. So I don't think it would be like anything to do with the UO re-release. I could put my sword on the side. I mean, yeah, you definitely could do. But it'd be interesting to see what actually does happen with it. But with that done, I think that is basically us done with all of the yapping part of the stream. So now we get to do some deck building. So I want to play pure maids. Right, we're going to play some pure maids today, because we finished all the talky talk. I don't have all the cards I need for pure maid. So, how are we doing this? Is anyone here a maid veteran? Does anyone here have any strong feelings or opinions about how to build this deck? Because I've seen a lot of the decks are playing like 30 card builds, right? But like, free-to-play maids? I mean, kind of free-to-play maids. Look on DLM, the list I got second. So we've done that already. So if we jump this up. So we had this list was the Suisun weekly one, right? So I have one of these and one of these. I have all of these. We don't have any of these, and we don't have any of these. So already there's quite a lot we don't have. We also don't have the Borreload. The issue I had with this was a 30-card build, and I immediately took it against an NPC and opened, like, double Book of Moon, like, double Trap. And I was like, I physically can't play the game. One, only be playing with Borrelink Ritual. I don't know what we're talking about there. Hybrid maids. I mean, we've already been playing the hybrid maids. So not pure. I mean, ours is pure. Besides, this is also... This is still pure, right? There's no way to summon these. These are just hand traps. Put more Parlor? Well, that's what I was thinking, right? But this list, which again by your recommendation, Quantum, only plays singles of every single maid. Instead of the hand traps. So then there was like this one as well. This one won in like the New Year tournament, which is playing like triple chamber, triple Parlor. But like my question then becomes, is it important that we hit 30 cards? Like, is that relevant to the strategy that we want to not be drawing out like all of our big dragons, for example? I've only been playing pure with Borrel, Ritual, and Melody for consistency. I see. It's because the hand traps are dragons, so they can be used with the fusion. Ah, right. That does make sense. Parlor is the best. Need 3. 2 chamber is fine. Well, the question still becomes, like, how much do we want to go in on this, right? So, for example, we can go Parlor. Like, that's fine. We can go, like, triple Parlor. We can go, like, double chamber. Like, that's also fine. But, like, again, if we're just looking at, like, the better decks. So now it's like, do we just chuck in, like, some random-ass staples that we have? Because, like, we have some staples. I don't think we have any Riot. No, we have Heavy Interlock. We do not. Oh, the only other thing we have is Major Riot, so we can't play that. And also, again, looking at, like, the topping list, like, this, obviously a deck that got first place, deck that got second place. Oh, we accidentally closed one. They're not, neither are, like, playing Riot, right? 3 of the Reborn Trap? God, which is even the Reborn Trap? 2 fusion. Oh, this one's on 2 fusion spell. The other one was only on 1. You're talking about tidying as the Reborn Trap. Right. I never think of tidying as, like, the Reborn Trap. Because, like, it does, like, so many different things. So we also have, like, we have got, like, Book of Eclipse. We've got 2 copies of this. But, like, it competes with Compulse. And obviously we already have Book of Moon. Oh, yeah. We tabbed without minimizing. There you go. This is how the deck's looking at the moment. You pronounce tidying so weird? How is tidying pronounced weird? How do you pronounce tidying? Like spell it out phonetically for me. Based British tomato. I don't even know if it's like an American difference. It might just be like a quantum difference. I'm pretty sure most people just say tidying. Tea-dyeing? I mean, I can see that. I don't know anyone that would pronounce it that way. But it might be because, you know, like, English is my first language, so it just makes sense to me, though. Run another lore path. I don't really want to go all in on the big boys. Do you guys, yeah, we have we have one copy of each of the dragons that we're seeing play. What's the other one called? What's the other ritual? That's literally how it's called. I mean, alright. To be fair to Quantum, he is right. That is how it is written, right? But the way it should be looked at is tidy-ing, right? Because like it's like you tidy things. You want things to be tidy, right? Do you say Taiki Elder? No, but the English language is fucked, Quantum. That's just how it works. Like, there's so many things that make no sense at all. It's like, weird. I before E, except... right? Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up things in the English language. Yeah, so we also have one copy of Buford, if we want that. B-E-A. I don't know if we want to play a Buford, but we have it. We have the option. I mean, I'll throw it in for now. We just take it out. Our language is 3 other languages wearing a hat. I mean, you're not entirely wrong. And for some reason, most people in the world speak it. No, I don't play it. This is fine. So you reckon just like this 27 card build? I also would like to fill out the extra deck with something. I don't really know what to put in there. Because we don't, like, most decks are just playing Boral. And we don't have the Boral. I don't really know if we, like, need anything else for the extra. But, like, it feels weird to not play something else in the extra. Puzzle Link got unlimited. Now, do we need... One, I don't even know if we have Puzzle Link. And two, would it be remotely relevant in this deck? Dingirsu? I mean, we do play a decent amount of 8s. I don't hate that. I'm not sure that's going to be the play, but I mean, it sounds funny, so we're going to do it. Alright, he's in. Alright, let's just take this. Let's take this into ladder. Let's just play some games with it, right? Now, the idea behind playing this is that hopefully we will not have to spend the entire timer just doing our combo, and we can actually try and like look at what our opponent's deck does and have the time to actually think about how to respond to what he's doing. That's the hope. Do you have MST or Cosmic? I think we have Cosmic. I don't think we have MST. We're against Chris P. Bacon. We're going to try and deny him a rank up. Let's see what happens. Right, we're against Tachyon. So I guess we have to skill here, right? Like, realistically, we're not going to not skill here. We already have the fusion. So what, we send this to graveyard. We already have that to get it back. So if we get Parlor, what do we even want to send with Parlor? Because this only gets back the level 4 lowers. Chamber, we don't really need it. We have everything that we'd possibly need from Chamber. But Parlor, we already have both the things we would get from Parlor. I suppose I could take Parlor, send that, use that to bring it back. It's just any Dragon Maid, right? So... Dump, tidying, revive. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Alright. Tidying bin. Activate tidying. Bring back Nudyol. Then we just straight fusion. Into Shio. There's no reason to use that, because that'll just bounce my own guy. We can set tidying, and then that's kind of it. I think we're just kind of done, right? Thank you for the follow, Highlander. We're going to be making some mistakes again until we, like, actually pick up what we're supposed to be doing with this deck. I don't really know what, like, the ideal end board for this deck is, other than, like, just draw some, like, good staples. Parlor effect, we'll send the last tidying. I mean, we can't let that happen. So, I guess we just have to negate this. Activates the trade-in. Hand or graveyard, you control 2 or more light and dark monsters, especially on this card from defense position, banish release the field. So this is the pain in the arse one that I really don't want to let go through. Like, there's no point in doing anything to Swatch Shard Dragon. So now this will let him get back the other one. But it's not once per turn that you can summon it, right? I only use the effect of it once per turn. The problem is that I can't, like, I can use the tidying, but it's just going to come straight back out again. I mean, we're going to go for it anyway, screw it. I'm running out of time. I don't think I can afford to, like... I really... Because the issue now is that if he just has another guy, he just gets the spiral back anyway. Yeah, so now he just goes full combo and I can't stop him. So I think we just lose here. If you bounce Spiral, it will get banished. Then you pop a Schwartz. Now that would have been better. But unfortunately, you said that way too late. It's one of this is my issue, right? This is always going to be the issue whenever I play Speed. Is there are so many different like decks at all different levels. And it's so hard to know what all of them do and where all of their choke points are and exactly how to interact with all of them. That's the hard part of Speed. Like, actually playing your own deck is kind of the easy bit. For the next time you face Tachyons in 2 years. Exactly. The thing is, I played against Tachyon like a decent amount, like when I had like the Fluffle stuff, and like we kind of got to the point where we understood how to interact with it there. But I think him just having double Swatch Shield initially was like very annoying for us. I mean, he had like all of this crap though, right? So his hand was what? It was Galactic Spiral. Don't even know what that thing is. So he opened 1, 2, 3, 4. I suppose he drew into that. So that'd be 5, 6. He used the skill to get that. Then he had what, 2 of those? I feel like his hand was pretty cracked. Hey, Bakura, welcome, welcome. I mean, I don't know why we're still sat here. Let's just let's just go next. We already know we're dead. All right, let's go again. I guess the ideal would be that we just had another like generic card, like a Compulse or something, just to have an extra way to interact as well. Right, Zane. If we go second into this, Okay, we're going first. If we went second, I don't know what we could have done. So what does laundry do again? Until it goes to the graveyard. Well, I don't really want to do that. I could summon this, get... The issue is no matter how we do this, we don't have any, like, good spells and traps to use. Because I could, like, just summon Chamber, grab the fusion spell, activate it, make a guy pass, but that feels like it's just ass. I mean, what's the alternative? We could activate the skill, send one to the bin, grab, like, Parlor, summon Parlor, Parlor dumps the fusion spell. Yeah, I suppose that's slightly better, but then we use up our only activation of Maid's Downtime. You can end on both fusions. Oh, yeah, because we can bounce. That's a good shout. That is a good shout. So we go Nurse, Nurse Effect, bring back Chamber, Chamber Effect, Search Fusion. Activate, make this using, because it has to be, well, it has to be one of them, maybe not him. So I think he's more useful. So we're going to want 2, and then we're going to want a space 3, so we're going to want to use everything anyway, right? I'll put this up here. Put this back into hand. Do this using probably you. I think we just send laundry. Then we just end. Then we use his effect, bring back Nurse. So Shio effects. Nurse comes back. Nurse effect. Chamber comes back. Chamber effect. I mean, are we just grabbing, like, tidying here? Let's grab tidying. I don't know what, like, the correct take is there. We'll just take it. Standby res chamber on res nurse chamber. I think that's what I did. I'm pretty sure I followed that. A good day, sir. Came for a cup of fallow. Which is fallow. I do not know if I'm supposed to stop core or not. I have no idea where I'm supposed to hit this, so I guess we're just going to let him go until something happens. Negate core. Well, the thing is, people keep telling me to do stuff right after we've not done it. Cyber emergency. Again, I have no idea where to stop this. I have literally no idea. If someone has a point they want me to negate, you have to let me know well ahead of time. Tactical interactions are cute. Teams Ouija and Terza. Yeah, I think Terza actually looks kind of small, like compared to actual like scale. Hope he activates Nova and negate that. Right, we'll see if we can get to that. Activation Ashta. Grabs the Sidra. Brings back the Sidra. The first Xyz, never the boss Xyz. Yeah, well, we have to try. Mind you, if we don't negate, because if he summons out, or if he doesn't activate Nova and he just activates Infinity, we have to try and negate Infinity, right? Because Otherwise, he just yoinks our guy for free. So, like, he'll negate our negate, but we still have to try. Yeah, it's like, does he activate Nova, is the question. Because he doesn't have to. Alright, well now we're looking pretty dire. Okay, so this forces this. Which then forces that. He negates our negate. I mean, he's still got 4 cards in hand. Let's not celebrate yet. Overload. Have 2 big girls in grave. Are we talking about, like, dragons? We've got 1 big dragon in grave. Now, this pop's only back row, right? It can attack multiple times. Yes. We'll go Nurse. We'll summon Nudyal. Alright, what are we popping with House, guys? What do we pop with House? I guess we just have to try for Infinity? No, that's fine. You can just stay there. Is this once per turn? Once per turn during this down phase. When another you can type once your hit controls destroy it. So I could have just done that whenever. Okay. Doesn't usually come up when I get to do this. There's no real reason to do this right now. Alright, I'm getting like 8 different people trying to like backseat in different ways. We're just pressing buttons, guys. We're just pressing buttons. The issue is, I'm trying to read chat so much that I'm not actually playing the game. That is the current issue. I got 8 people trying to backseat in completely different ways. Alright, then I guess we're gonna go changeover. Read the reborn requirements for the small maids after this game. Level 7 Dragon Maid monster from your graveyard to your hand. At the start of the battle phase, you can return this card to your hand, and if you do, special summon a level 7 Dragon Maid monster from your hand or graveyard. Okay, well, level 7. Level 7 or higher. Ashe. Banish different levels of your hand. Destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. Card the field, destroy a card effect. Add a cyber spell trap. Okay. We will use this and this, I guess. Cyberload Fusion. Okay. Has to go in defense position, so I can't do that. Gonna pop my downtime. Okay, why am I doing this now? I'm literally just clicking buttons. Because bringing this back doesn't do anything. This is just running out of time. No. Ah! God damn it. I even toggled off. Why did it prompt me when I toggled off? Oh, because it was a mandatory effect to resolve. Alright. I think what I need to do is stop reading chat so much. Because the problem is, I spend so long waiting for chat to, like, type stuff out. That, like, I'm not actually playing the game. I think I just need to actually just play the game. I was not expecting you to time out with pure. Again, it's the problem of not... Like, when I play the pure version, I know the lines, right? I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly how to do it. When I'm playing this, it's now I need to learn what my opponent's decks do. It's not just, like, click yellow button when it comes up. Alright, Piercing the Darkness. Right, Battle Chronicle. Ah, this is actually a little bit awkward, right? Because I kind of want to search Nurse. I don't really want Nurse in hand. Changeover doesn't make this any easier. I don't think putting Nurse in the graveyard right now helps me. But then again, if I use the skill... I don't need... Oh, I suppose that works. Alright, we'll go Maid downtime. I'm going to send... probably this. We'll grab probably Parlor. Just going to normal Parlor. Parlor, send Tidying. Then we're just going to shotgun Tidying. Bring this out. Oh, I should have done this as well, because I went second. So I should have just done this part of the effect. I could make this using this. I'd have to use this, but then I could use that with the bounce. Make another one. Let's try this out. Let's see where this goes. We can go Changeover, target Parlor. We can activate Changeover. Then we can go into House. Just going to set this. We're just going to go to battle and see what happens. Go get him, champ. Okay. That's pretty big. I mean, I have to stop this, right? I can't not. Come on back, House Dragon Maid. Stop being puny, Canada? Okay. Cogged 4 accounts this month, only one more. I hate the people defend it. Hugh Laurie, an alt art for House Dragon Maid win? I don't think so somehow. Swing over this. Swing over this. And then he'll get his effect to summon both cards, right? Yeah, wondering if you've got your hands. Okay. It's a little bit annoying, but. I mean, I'm not too scared of these cards on their own. We'll see what else he's got. I don't know if there was a way to play around his piercing darkness thing. I want to top one of the Dragon Monsters you control, special summon Dragon Monsters from your hand or graveyard in defense position whose level is one level higher or lower than it. So I do want to do that. Then we can summon you out to the field. Okay. Okay. So we now have a bounce target, which is kind of nice. So we can either bounce a spell trap or search our deck for any Dragon Maid card. I don't even know what Dragon Maid card I would want right now. But obviously just having the option to bounce my own guy will give me a 2000 combat trip and a pop. I assume... Can you use 2 House Dragon Maids or like one miss the timing or something? When you... So when you can. So it will miss the timing. So it'll only get one of the effects, right? I believe that's how that works. Straight to battle phase. Well, I'm going to downtime. I think I'm just going to put a spell trap back to his hand, you know. Oh, we can use both? Hey! You can use a spell to bounce from grave and chain trap to bounce too. Okay, that's fine. We'll let you do your fusion. When effect, if, don't miss. Okay. What's the next part of the plan, Dark Magicians? I mean, I'm not going to just send this to the graveyard to boost. Alright. Well, there's Lord Pile. Look at all of these effects. Go, House. Select House. No. Select the card to special summon. Get out Tin Heck. That could let me get out another one. Oh, that is actually so funny. So I target this. I'm going to summon out Lorpar. Old Reliable. Because now this gets around the destruction effect. I'm just going to swing. Go, Ding! It's already come up more than most of the stuff in the extra deck. We got there! Roadhouse! Oh, alright. The main... So the main thing I'm looking at right now is... This deck seems very simplistic. Obviously the main thing is going to be just like... working out what the enemy decks do and when to interrupt them. But I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to open like a book or a compulse or like a tidying and just have like an extra form of interruption other than just the monsters. But we're not kind of getting that right now. YouTube! Ding ding ding! Tomato Maid is here and he's top tier. We managed to beat someone in Platinum playing Dark Magician, guys. We did it! We finally made it! Play Tag Duel? I think we need to play Tag Duel right now. Alright, let's go again. So Tomato, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I can't decide what to play. 3! Oh, is this going to be Battle Chronicle Blue Eyes? We are going first. We've gone first quite a lot, I've noticed. Oh no, ads. Oh yeah, we have got ads. Rip. I can just send this to Grave. We already have that. Get Nurse if I want. Nurse back to hand. A bit awkward, but... I think I want to send Laundry into Nurse. I can't have 2 big dragons though, right? Okay, I'll have to read that in a sec, Manicist. So I'm not going to be able to concentrate otherwise. Nurse effect bring back Laundry. Meaning Laundry effect, mill some cards. Changeover, we'll get Shio using this and this. We're not going to have a second dragon, but we can still like grab it back if we want. Is there a reason to? Like, I'll just have that in my hand, which is... Oh, we got that in the graveyard anyway, so we do that into that, which means I don't need that on the field, but I don't really need that in my hand right now either. No, we're going to do it anyway. Alright. So we go Shio effect. Shio brings back Nurse. Nurse effect. Nurse bring back Chamber. Chamber effect. Probably just a tidying here. Alright, so what he's got. So back. BRB in Ad Hell, always. The better play, use Laundry, bounce Nurse. Use Laundry, bounce Nurse. Yeah, but then I couldn't do Nurse during my opponent's turn to get Chamber. That was what I was thinking. Oh, it's Tenyi. Unaffected by monster effects. Am I going to get another opportunity to do a negate against this deck? think we're just gonna go for it. I don't know what he's got in his hand, but like... we're gonna see where it lands. We're just gonna go. It's Blue Eyes? Does Blue Eyes play... oh, is this just literally to protect Blue Eyes? I could see it. I could see it. I don't think I've ever run into a Blue Eyes that plays this. But then again, I usually play against like some of the worst Blue Eyes lists of all time, so who even knows? Shio can summon from hand? Okay. Well then it... but why would I want to summon from hand? But that's just like a minus instead of a plus. Or just it breaks even instead of a plussing. We have one dragon at the moment. It's one of our level 7 ones. Derek's played it in his Blue Eyes list. Again, it's one of those things where, like, I try and stay up to date with what the speed meta is. But I do not know, like, specific builds. I do not know choke points. I don't know... like, I know, like, the gist of what a deck does, for the most part. But I don't know, like, exactly when I'm supposed to mess with it, right? No, did not see Chamber again. Yeah. If I didn't have something to bring back from the graveyard, I wouldn't have focused on Nurse remaining there. How dare you not watch the 384 Quantum Dailies? I do actually try to watch as many of the Quantum Dailies as I can. The problem is 10 PM is when your tournament starts, and 10 PM is usually like a really awkward time for me. So like I'll occasionally like tune in and I'll just kind of lurk and I'll like watch a bit, but I can only watch like a game or two, unfortunately, and then I can't like watch the rest of it. It's just a really unfortunate timing. Because again, I really like watching it, and the same I like watching like the Grand Prix and the Meta Weeklies, and I get like the gist of it. I'll be like, the funny thing is, whenever I watch any of these tournaments, right, and these are usually going to be like, you know, the Cloudies, the Quantums, the Grands, right? I'll always see people I recognize. It'll be like, oh, Duan's playing, oh, Paris is playing. Right? It'll be, oh, JVZ's playing. It'll be all these people like I recognize the names, and I'm just like, oh yeah, playing that deck that I really like again. Cool. 10 PM is awkward for him because he's got to take his pills, and I don't actually take any pills. I used to have hot baths before bed, but I tend to not do that anymore. But I definitely did used to. That was something we've moved past that phase. Are we gonna get Pride and Sold? Spellbook of Secrets. Do you need to do all of this? Can't you just, like, use the skill and it does, like, 90% of this for you? Do you need to draw out the whole deck? You win here if you don't misplay. Now, you know there is a misplay. You know there's a misplay coming, Quantum. Why would you even say that? Hot bath before bed is bad anyway. Want to be colder before you sleep. Yeah. Well, it depends if it's like, if it's freezing. Like, if I haven't got the heating on and it's just cold. Like, in general. Oh, it's just this? It's just this. It's just the FDK. Okay. I thought maybe it'd be something cool with the big 5k attack guy, but no, it was just FTK. I don't know. Like, obviously, I know some people run, like, the skills to, like, give you more life points and stuff. I don't know if there is, like, a hand trap that saves you there. Because, like, Veiler wouldn't do anything. I'm trying to think if there is a hand trap that would save you. Droll. Yeah, Droll. Droll would be the one. I don't even think I own Droll. Because Droll, I think the only chance I had to get Droll was, I think it was in the anniversary box. It was in some sort of box that I got, that I went into. But I don't think I actually got any. So I can do... So that doesn't do anything because I'll go first. But we have to activate this because otherwise we literally don't have a play. So this has to go to the bin. So now what do I want from this? This gets me the fusion. This also gets me the fusion. This does nothing. This does nothing. So I guess I just take Parlor. Dump fusion. Fusion back to hand. Use this to bring that back. Fuse. Pass. So I have no way to get a second one. If I do that, it just gets me the fusion. If I do that, it just gets me the fusion. So I think I just take Parlor. Summon the Parlor. Hane Water? Like, I don't even know what Hane Water does. Change over to the bin. Change over effect. Parlor back to hand. Then we just... Oh, we don't actually need to use Hospitality here, because we have that in hand. But I guess that will protect me, or insulate me? Because what is it? What is the... Yeah, we'll send a card from deck to graveyard. Get in the bin, Laundry. What does this one exactly do? This is like when a card's targeted. I need to read it after this. Well, there's nothing we can do for the rest of the turn, so I just pass and then read it. This is... When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, discard this card and get the activation. Okay. I guess we always bring back Parlor, because Parlor sends Tidying. Okay. Saves you when he gives you token. Well, I mean, that would be nice. Hane Water is the GOAT, and it's free to play. Well, that's something. Use Leonidas. What, the DDD? Is that a Red Eyes Black Dragon? I will allow the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Where are we going with this? I should probably read what the skill does. If you control Red Eyes, set a Red Eye spell trap from your deck. Okay. Takes Chain. You equip to graveyard, target effect monster on the field. Equip to that monster. If you do, equip to the card. I mean, that's fine. I can still just Book of Moon this. What have you just done? Let me read this. Equip to target the monster's card equipped to, and if you target to equal to the original attack and defense of that equipped monster. What? Not worth it, most of the field. Equip this card to that monster. If you do, while a monster is equipped to it by this effect. Oh, right. I understand. You're trying to equip my guy to your guy. I am with you. I am on the same page now. No. It's the issue with, like, skimming cards. Is you really don't take it all in. Yo, is that the legendary monster? The Red Eyes Black Dragon? Yeah. Some say it's comparable to the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Right, we're not going to let that go through. Out comes House. The Claw of Hermos. Okay. Yeah? What does this make? The Red Eye Sword? Oh, you used a card from your hand. Okay. Yeah? I mean, I can just flip it down whenever I want, right? $600 attack, set through the graveyard. Okay. Goes to battle phase. Hey, is that Book of Moon? Now he gets to search a Red Eyes card. I mean, I feel pretty okay about this right now. Grabs retro, so... Attack card effect since the graveyard. New use versus card. Okay. So he's gonna be able to bring it back, basically. Okay, he just scoops. There's the issue. I don't know what any of these bloody cards do. I'm just sat here, like, reading Red Eyes cards like it's gonna come up ever again. Alright. We go again. You prefer Pure or Dragoonity? I think Dragoonity is more fun, but I spend so long doing the combo, I have barely any time to do anything else. Whereas now, I'm actually able to read my opponent's cards and try and work shit out. This version of the deck feels so much simpler, right? There's not really many moving pieces. This hand is garbage. I mean, these two literally don't do anything unless they get popped. I think I have to set both of these in case. Do I even set Tidying? Like, it's only good if he pops it. Then we're just going to pass on this. I'm a bit worried about, like, clogging this up, but then again, I can always activate Compulse whenever I want anyway. Well. So we don't know what he's playing yet. He knows what we're playing. It's Unchained, okay. Does this guy pop on one card on the field? So I could force him to discard a card. But he special summoned this, so we could just normal summon it. So there's no reason to put that back in his hand now. Am I just dead? Bounce mid or big dog? No, we're just dead. I don't think you understand. Oh, wait, no, because this is going to be on a new chain. No, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. I think we have to then just bounce the Abominable Unchained Soul. Because this should resolve on a new chain, right? But then doesn't this one just... Or maybe not. Oh, no, does he just pop his own guy? Yeah, he pops his own guy, gets the special summon, and then we're dead. Although, could he summon this more than once per turn? It's only once per turn he can do that. Sarama. Destroys one card you control. Which then triggers his effect. Brings back that. But he's already used his effect, so it's just this. Okay. A dragon maid. What's his back row? It's like, get rid of one of your Unchained, get rid of one of his. Okay, just special summons one. Okay, I mean, I think we just have to do this, right? Oh, I should have done the other effect. I keep forgetting I have that effect, 'cause it just hasn't come up yet. Can I please click? There we go. Nurse brings back chamber. Chamber effect. I mean, it just has to be changeover, right? I mean, this doesn't really do anything. I don't really know what... Because, like, I could deal with this, and then what? He just, like, links off my board and I die? I don't have a big maid. Setting both of them doesn't really accomplish anything. I mean, we're just going to set both and just see what happens. I think we were kind of screwed either way. I think no matter what I did here, I was just completely fucked. I don't think there was a winning play. Because even when I kill these guys, it doesn't really help. Their effects are just going to go off. But I mean, we can't not. So we're just going to swing and see what happens. The misplay killed you? I don't think so. Not realistically. Like, getting one extra card, I don't think really changes everything drastically here. Okay, this can get summoned, but he can't use his pop because he hasn't got a card to discard. I can't do anything about that, though. So I could have got downtime. With maids it does. Well, explain it then, rather than just yapping. Right, I think we're just going to give up on this. I don't think I can win this. Just see Dragon Maid with the Bee Dragon and Synchro skill. What give you HP? One extra card can make you Shio. I mean, so what? Let's me send this to the graveyard, right? But like, what does that get me? Because this was in our hand, right? So we just set this, which we could have just set the previous turn anyway. We flip it up. We then have to return it to hand. Put a no. I suppose yeah. I suppose that can do it. I suppose by that logic, I should have just set it immediately. But even then, I don't think Shio actually wins us that game. Realistically. Like, how does Shio on its own win us the game when we've got to play through the trap, the effects? He's got two monsters that have effects that when they're destroyed will trigger the summon of the guy from hand and can also summon the guy from deck. Like, I think it buys us, like, some time, but I still don't think we win the game. Jesus. Well. I guess just Parlor? summon Parla. Parla send. Changeover. Activate changeover. Parla back to hand. We go changeover. Just make Shio. Set 1, set 2, pass. Now, well, the opponent would have just lethal if he summoned Rikea off of Aurora anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we were thinking. And again, even if we got out like the Omni, I don't think one Omni actually saves us though. Okay. I mean, I guess. Send the tidying. Alright. So what he does here. Okay, sends laundry, grabs nurse. Summons nurse. Nurse effect. So he's already got the tidying in the grave. Laundry's going to mill some more cards. Let's see what he hits. Okay, so we've got another one in there. Your opponent cannot target Dragon Maid monsters you control card effects this turn. Okay, that's a little bit annoying because I've got a bunch of targeting cards. With any card effect, bro. Why could I activate this? Oh, or in their graveyard, that's why. So I can use it on something in the graveyard if I want. Not that it matters, because house can't trigger anyway. I could put it back into his hand before he gets a chance. Oh, crazy. We might just be straight up screwed over here. I think him just opening the droplet messed us up pretty big here. And he has got one of the big ones. Why? Oh, because you're planning to use the effect to put them back into... Okay. There's not really anything I can do about this. Sure, we'll try and activate this. We'll see if we can get an Omni out of him. I didn't think so. Sure, you can just come out in defense. Yeah, I probably should have put it in attack, actually. Because then this would have to crash. That was actually kind of stupid. There's no reason to do that. There's sort of a reason to do this one. Right, we take the 27, but we got to keep an extra card. Oh, I feel like I'm just getting the short end of the stick here. I don't think there was a good play here. What a lovely draw. I mean, we're just dead, right? There's like nothing we can do. I could discard this to negate this. That'll probably just let him keep it. Summon that. Dump something. Put that back in the hand. I could get out my own Shio. Maybe. The best play was to make and then use Shio. We did make and use Shio. What are you talking about? We literally made a Shio and used it. Okay, so I think I have to do this. Use it on this. Okay. Okay, Parlor. Parlor effect. So we already have the tidyings, we already have everything we basically need. We'll probably just send Nurse. The problem here is I need to bounce this guy twice. Bounce that, bounce that. But then I won't have the fusion. I think I need to do this. But then have to use tidying to summon something to fuse with. This only brings back the 4s, so I have to bring back Lorpar. Oh, then we can use tidying on both of these, right? It's just a dragon monster you control. Do I only use one or t'other? Ah, okay. Can't do that. I mean, I don't really get a say in this then. There was just no good play. Which, like, kind of sucks, but, like, if there's nothing I can do, there's nothing I can do. So crashing is death. Attacking any of these is pointless because he will just bring them back and get that into the battlefield effects again. So we just pass. And I think we have to try and Shio. We'll go Nurse. Nurse, bring back Parlor. As we wait for the response. Alternate win condition found! I do not crouch. Pitch the continuous spell? We don't have the continuous spell is the issue. Well, sorry, we own it. We don't play it. Because the people that built our deck said that we didn't want it. Although from what I've seen, some people play one copy of it. I think it's really good in some matchups. But, like, at the very least, the people that are, like, winning tournaments with this deck aren't using it. So I'm kind of just going with that. Alright, let's see what this next guy's got. Alright. Alright. Oh. So this is going to be Wind Witch. It's another deck that I'm not super into it. So, like, I don't really know where to stop this deck. And again, Nurse in the opening is annoying. I mean, we have to open with this, right? We can't not. What do I even want, though? This gets a card to hand, which doesn't do anything. This can put something in the graveyard, which right now doesn't do anything. Again, just doesn't do anything. Summoning you is completely pointless. I guess we just take Parlor. We'll just summon Parlor. Parlor effects. I don't even think we want Tidying Engrave right now. It doesn't get us anything. So we might as well just send the Fusion spell. Because we're going to have a Tidying Graveyard, presumably, next turn anyway. And just to make sure that Tidying's left on, we just keep Parlor on the field, rather than putting that back in hand. Alright, I don't know. I don't know if there was a better play we could have made. I didn't see it if there was. Yeah? And use each effective at once per turn. So if I do put this back in his hand... So much things are happening. And if his guys don't have protection, I just let him go, right? And I just try and hit his synchros. Yep, the best of 3 now Tuna. I don't see a point in hitting the Tuna with Compulse, just because he'll just normal summon. He hasn't normal summoned yet. So has this thing got any kind of protection built in? Alright. I'm going to bounce this. Okay, so he still hasn't normal summoned. Here's the normal. Okay. I think once again we just wait for the synchro, right? And bounce that. Kinda glad to see the selection box mostly has deck-specific stuff rather than staples. I mean, yeah. I think some people would say that Underworld Goddess is kind of a staple. Right. Synchros those into Bell. What does Freeze Bell do? I'm just gonna do this. Shuffle a Tuna from your graveyard into the deck, then add a Wind Witch Tuna from your deck to your hand. Okay, well he's already normaled. And the last card is Win the Wind Channeler. Goddess is kind of the main exception. Yeah. That's Piper. But you just can't use the rest of its effect. Okay. It's Nudyal. I can't really do anything with this. This is just kind of sad. So next turn he just summons this and kills me? Use it? What? Why should I use it? I'm just waiting for this is the issue. I'm just gonna end. Waiting for Twitch chat when there is so much delay is not worth it. It is. I just hemorrhage time just waiting for someone to say something. Why didn't he use the effect to do one? Guys, this deck's really cool. This is so much fun. Heckin' love big dragons. Ah! Alright, can we find a not big dragon? I should have been more specific. I mean, I don't think I've made like a mistake. I think this is just what the deck is doing. Yeah, we'll take another set. The issue is as well, he's playing a burn deck, so like burn just could come out now from any point, and I could just randomly die to that. Parlor! A card that does something! Go, Parlor! No! I mean, we could stop this. So we go tidying. This back to my hand. I guess we're just going to put this back. Would this have worked on it? Because I wouldn't be controlling a Dragon Maid monster, so I wouldn't have got the second effect anyway. We've already done that, which means we can't do that. We've already used our normal. Who's currently in the bin? Parlor's not going to do anything. I guess I have to send... No, because I can't do that. When you just say yes a whole bunch, and I don't know what you're saying yes to, it is the most unhelpful thing in the entire world. We're just going to do this. Oh, we can use this to special summon. Then we summon this out. Oh, we already had changeover in the graveyard. That's me being dumbass. I suppose it... No, it still did matter. We can use changeover to make Shio. And we'll just swing. If you ever use spell and target something, then any trap effect to bounce your guy on the same target, you will still recycle the spell. If you ever use spell... Right, I need to just focus on this for a sec. Get this back. Use Nurse. Nurse brings back Parlor. Parlor is going to send... I mean, I guess it's just always tidying, right? If you ever use spell, target something. I mean, that just immediately forces Shio. Nothing I can do about that. Target something, then trap effect. Oh, he just. Okay. I mean, there's nothing we can interact with here, so we just let that go. Then he activates Ice Bell. Yeah. I'm gonna flip this down. That's all I've got. Ow. Did you use Nurse Effect? Yeah, we used Nurse Effect. Okay. I mean, right now we can, like, slam a guy out to kind of protect us, but I don't think it matters because this is just going to burn us to death, right? Yeah. Nothing we could do. Nothing we could do. Example. So, change over target nurse from grave. Okay. Change over target nurse from grave. Isn't that... Alright, use changeover's effect from the grave, target your nurse. Chain either your dragon maid traps on field targeting nurse. The trap resolves. Bounces the nurse, then the changeover still adds to hand because the requirement changeover is just target, not to have to bounce. Okay. It matters? How could it matter? Bro activated 2 dark holes and then burned us to death. No, having any dragon maid in the graveyard would not make that not happen. Taya Gardener. Now that is always Monka. Taya Gardener is always Monka. Okay, it's maids. I mean, we can fuse. We can totally fuse. So we send this. Because we don't have one of the little ones, there's no point in grabbing Nurse. So it's Chamber or Parlor. Parlor gets the trap in the graveyard. Which is probably gonna... Oh, no, it's got to be Chamber, right? Because we go Chamber, grab the trap, fuse, use the effect, bring it back, then the trap's live. I think that's probably the take. We'll go Chamber, grab, Tidying. Then we just go Changeover into Shio. Set 1, set 2, pass. And then Shio will resolve. Bring back Chamber. Chamber effect will then search out. And what do I even want from here? I don't think it matters too much. I guess I'll take the Hospitality. If they were the big girls, Darkhold does nothing. Read Earnest. Cannot be destroyed by card effects where you control a fusion monster. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Well, saying it doesn't do anything is a little bit... That's a little bit disingenuous. I'll just let him search out any Dragon Maid card he wants. I think I have to. I don't know. See, this is the issue. Is I don't know when I want to stop him. I feel like trying to stop changeover doesn't do anything. Like, when does Dragon Maid stop Dragon Maid? Well, I guess he's already used his normal. Well, I guess it forces him... If I negate, it forces him to have... Thingy? Why have we sent Ernest to graveyard here? Sends Parlor. What do we add now? We've already... Again, we've already normaled. Yeah, that's... So my first instinct, Manicist, is like, if I do that, he just puts it back in his hand and does it again. And my second is, well, if he hasn't got another normal, he can't do it. And it's like, what else do you negate? Let's get House back out. It's Nudyal. Okay. Well, I guess we just normal chamber. Chamber effect. Tidying again. Go changeover. Activate changeover. We'll just make Shio again. Let's go battle. That felt very simple. I was waiting for like the ball to drop, right? I was like, he's gonna have something somewhere. Because like when he used the normal and then like immediately bounced the normal and then like had no follow-up, I was just like, I don't know, it just, I feel like he misplayed. I'm not exactly sure where he misplayed, but I feel like he misplayed. I really just need more experience. I just need to play this deck like a shit ton more. Learn what a lot of the other decks in the meta do. Because I think that's the other issue is, when you are... I don't know if it gets more diverse or less diverse when you get to, like Legend. So, I mean, we've done the Legend climb, but we haven't done it in, like, a few months, right? But when we did, I felt like the higher we got, the more... or the less diverse the decks got. So it became easier because there were less decks to have to know what they do. Okay, we're against Gimmick Puppets. I've played against Gimmick Puppets like once or twice. Like, I genuinely do not remember what any of their shit does. But, I mean, that doesn't really make it any different from any other deck we play against, so... Just learn what hero does, that's all you need to know. The problem is, Dwan, no one's playing heroes right now, right? At least no one that I've played against today. So, like... It's like back when I did a lot of ladder climb, was when Blue Eyes was a tiered deck, and everyone played Blue Eyes. And I was just like, I know this deck inside and out, so I could just play around it effortlessly. It's like here, I don't know what Gimmick Puppets are going to end on. I know that he's probably going to make, like, the big foot guy, assuming he's in Duel Links. I don't know what Chimera Doll does. During the main phase, you link someone's card, you can activate its effect, you cannot special monster to the extra the rest of the turn, except machine type X these monsters. Take one gimmick puppet monster from your deck, either add it to your hand, send it to the graveyard, then fill monsters in your gimmick puppet. You can special summon one gimmick puppet monster from your hand. Okay. So it's search and then special summon. Is Sunrise / Liquid in structure? Because they're not in DLM. Well, we don't know what the whole structure... We don't know the whole structure list yet, right? Makes ding. 2 material ding. 3 material ding. So what, we activate, dump, Parlor, grab, whatever, summon that, bring back Parlor? If we get a second big dragon... then I can make double fusion. But I don't need a second big one for that, because... what I could do is take Lawpar and just negate. I don't hate that. But if I do that, I can't do the double fusion play. The double fusion play, though, doesn't matter if he has Ding. Right, I'm going to take Lawpar. We'll see. We're going to just see where this goes. We'll activate Lawpar. Just going to target Ding. See if anything happens here. I'm just going to see where this line takes us. Summon Nurse. Activate Nurse. Target Parlor. Yeah, we probably should have waited and used the Lawpar when it actually mattered, but... Oh, it's literally just going to make it so I can't attack this turn. I mean, that's actually kind of annoying. Do this. We'll take back... I don't think it matters what we take back. So whenever I summon comes out in defense mode, don't think it's going to make a huge difference either way, because I can't realistically do what I want to do anyway. Getting that back is pointless, so I think I have to send Parlor. So if I summon this, is this going to get forced into defense mode? Yeah, okay. So I just set this and pass, right? I don't think there's anything else worth doing. Which means now we need to find a new way to out this, which is probably just going to be our tidying. Grab Parlor. Parlor effect. Probably just send tidying here. Just to have access to it. Okay, so it's all going to come down to what the 2 cards in his hand is. Because right now we can just deal with Ding. Like, that's not an issue. Is this once, but this is during your main phase if you control a link, this link summon card. Okay, so we can just do that. We're entering the battle phase. This doesn't, like, have a restriction, right? Okay. Battle phase is fine. Go tidying. Target this and this. And then we just win? We'll go Shio's effect. Still just don't need you at all, so I guess we're just going to bring back Parlor. I probably should have plussed off that really, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't know, we'll just send Nudyol. So I'll go change over. I guess we'll take Nurse back. Oh, I should have probably sent the other one, like Chamber. That probably would have been a lot better here. What do we even have in here? It's just those two. Okay. So I guess this could just get changed to attack. We'll go change over. It's going to use like this and this. It's probably fine. Out comes House. Is this lethal damage? This is lethal damage. I'm pretty sure we're fine. We don't have to overthink this. Unless like he's going to like have a surprise hand trap. We just kill. We just kill. They are Stratos is there as well. Sounds like just a full hero core just in the structure, which is kind of nutty. 3 back-to-back main boxes into selection main box. Konami really trying the hardest to squeeze out every last penny. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. The problem is, well, when they give like really good boxes, right? To be fair, this selection box is a skip Lamau, but the January selection boxes are usually mains anyway. Well, there's also like, are we getting the anniversary box, right? Because if we get an anniversary box, that might be more tempting than the selection anyway. Like, the selection box, I think, does have some cool shit in it, but like, I don't know. How much of it do we actually think is going to be like meta relevant, right? Like, I think some of it will. I don't know if all of it will. Tomato, I found secret tech for reptiles. It's Psychic Burial. Like, it's so generic as a 1 to 2 of. The problem with Psychic Burial is it's a flat -1. It's just not very good. You will basically get a lot of cards which are Psychic Burial on a body, which is just better. Like, immediately, off the top of my head, we have Imaginary Reactor, right? Just mill 2 for free. It's really good. It's on a body. You can attribute the body off, right? That's why Psychic Burial isn't particularly very good. But, hello, Desmume. Hello, Serena. Hello, Karma Yu-Gi-Oh! Welcome on in, everyone. The Invoke stuff with Fleur, I guess. I don't really see it being meta-relevant. Like, some of the Invoke stuff... I mean, we can bring it up again, right? Some of the Invoke stuff is... It's a bit weird, right? Like, people keep throwing around, like, Invoke Shadow. And, like, I think that could be okay. But I don't know if that's going to outperform just regular pure Shadow, right? So, like, but if it does, maybe there's something there. Nadir's Servant feels like right now, this card is, like, okay. Like, it's fine. It's not a bad card. But, like, in the future, this card will be a lot better, right? So, they could use Nadir's Servant as, like... Because if they just release, like, a whole bunch of branded stuff now, people are going to be like, man, I need my Nadir's Servants. But if they're still waiting for this to get, like, printing outside of the selection box, that would kind of suck. Next box doesn't seem game-breaking. I mean, yeah, I think that's a good shout. Invoke Shadow seems so cope to me. Shadow is already good on its own. Well, the logic is that the deck was okay/good in TCG. So, people just make the one-to-one comparison, right? Like, the one real benefit, I guess, is that with Magical Meltdown on the field, your Shadow Fusion can't get stopped. Which is, like, okay. Invoked Wind Witch. Is there any... I'm trying to think what, like, the synergy there is. It's like, Goddess of Closed World is probably, like, fine. I could see people trying to go in this box just to get one of this. Small World is a really weird card. I mean, Untess is pretty good, right? Like, Untess is probably gonna... People are probably gonna pick this card up. Like, basically, if you're seeing... if Punishment sees play, this will see play, right? I think they tried to make sure that Hero is the best deck even after the selection box. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. It's Invoked plus Crystal Wing option. I mean, yeah. Make negate, make more negate. I understand the stacking negates. Invoked Wind Witch has no synergy. Well, you know, it's the making the four horsemen, the 4 end board of the apocalypse. Is that the quote? Is that the saying? Sea and Luna being UR is hilarious. Yeah, Sol and Luna is a weird one. I guess the logic is it's like it's Book of Moon if you squint at it. So I guess that's why it's a UR, right? I guess. So to make people go play Rush. Oh, bro. It's a weird one. A lot of people are really dissatisfied with the current Rush meta. I actually quite like the current Rush meta, so maybe I'm the weird one, but all what you see is pay to win and other players can't play. I think it's fine to have pay to win decks because it's a gacha game. Not every deck should be free to play friendly. What is really, really scummy though is taking a free-to-play archetype that is unbelievably free-to-play friendly, and then saying, oh, if you want to keep playing this deck optimally, you now need a 3-of from a selection box, which is, a 3-of in a selection box is actually disgusting. Like, that is the worst way to try and gouge money from people. A Magical Meltdown to being, again, a UR selection box is so gross. And to a lesser extent, the Amazement stuff. Because again, this again was a very free-to-play friendly deck, and now just sticking these in here just feels so bad. I'd say this is more of a pay-to-play than pay-to-win. Yeah, that is a fair statement. That is a fair statement. I'm just using pay-to-win as a like you know, a catch-all for like you have to spend money. But yeah, you're right. It is not like nothing in here is like game-breakingly overpowered. Probably Intes is probably like the best thing in here. Probably, like, generic-wise, it's probably Underworld and then Intes. Like, Nadir Servant is also, like, I mean, it's good. Is this current Rush meta a little more sacky than usual? Yes, but it's the best it's ever been, let's be real. I would say that I think the meta before this one felt more sacky. But this meta hasn't improved that much. Right? I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I think this meta is like, if the last meta was like 100 out of 100 in the Saki, this meta is like a 90 out of 100 on the Saki. Like, it's still Saki. Because, again, it's a lack of defensive options and a overabundance of aggressive options is the issue. Which just feels bad, because it just comes down to, did you draw a good hand that makes a nice board and does lots of damage? You're probably going to win, right? That's what it basically comes down to. And then a lot of the time games come down to, did you have your legend trap? Did your opponent have their legend trap? And that's kind of how it goes, right? It's a bit weird. Putting Amazement and Gizmek in there makes no sense. It's probably just literally, like, the Gizmek stuff I kind of get, because they just gave us, like, Orochi and the Gizmek skills. So they're just like, oh, it's more support for a deck that's just gotten support. I kind of get that. Rush needs way more traps to be remotely good. I don't know about... Right, so what you're saying there is that Rush is awful right now. That is what your statement is there. That Rush right now is so bad it's not worth touching. And I just don't think that's true. I think Rush is fine. I think the meta right now, the decks in the meta are quite engaging. There isn't that much like toxicity in the meta right now. The issue at the moment is, if you draw a bad hand, there is almost no recovering. And that feels awful. So sometimes you'll just look at your hand and you'll go, okay, the game's over. There's no coming back from this. And that's not great, right? Zero interaction just sucks. I mean, there is interaction. There's just not as much as we would like, right? That's the problem. We don't need more traps. We just need more relevant decks. So first off, I would say we do need more traps, because they're a big part of the game, and that's just a big section of the game that we're just not engaging with. Especially since a lot of decks have, again, like archetype-specific traps, and we have barely any of those, which means we're not actually seeing what the decks are supposed to be able to do, because we don't have all of their tools. Second, I would say that having 6,000 life points is naturally going to make damage feel so much stronger than it otherwise would. Having 30-card decks also makes decks more consistent. More consistent means they get more damage quicker, which means, again, damage becomes an issue. And then on top of that, you also have skills which tend to increase your deck's consistency, which will increase the amount of damage you output more regularly, as well as some skills just increase the amount of damage you do. You reduce the attack of your opponent's monster, you'll boost the attack of your monster, you'll just do naturally more damage. So you have all of these stacking modifiers for do more damage, do more damage, do more damage, on top of 2,000 less life points than the cards are designed to be played with, on top of we don't have a lot of defensive options to protect from all this incoming damage, and it ends up feeling like a shotgun meta, right? It's like you just blast your opponent as hard as you can, as quickly as you can, and the game's over. Now, we have Psychic, which is a deck that kind of stems that off, because you have a deck that can now gain tons of life points. But the flip side to that is Psychic can also, as well as gaining all those life points, just build a ridiculous board every turn and create really powerful OTKs of their own. So even when we get a quote-unquote defensive deck, a deck that can outlive other decks, a deck that can insulate your own life points by boosting them up, it still doesn't solve the issue, because one, only one deck is doing that, and two, that deck can also just turn around and OTK you. It's like back when we had Aqua doing that, and Aqua was like the defensive deck, you could use D and Keto to boost up your life points, you couldn't really turn around and OTK your opponent back, right? But Psychic can do that. Now, it's not easy for Psychic to do that, I will preface that, but it is the best deck in the moment for a reason, right? Now, saying all of that, is Rushdoll, in my opinion, in a bad spot? No. Because again, I do like most of the decks that are currently in the format. I do think the game is still very fun to play. Is it the most rewarding format in terms of, oh, I'm going to outplay my opponent, I'm going to feel like the better player won the duel? I mean, maybe not, because again, we are in a bit of a sack meta. But that has been true basically since Go Rush came out. But Go Rush's launch was still some of the most fun Rush I've ever played. So like, it's kind of swings and roundabouts, right? There's good sides, there's bad sides. You have to take the good with the bad. It would be a lot nicer if there was only good and no bad, but that's not going to happen. There's never going to be a format that's absolutely perfect. You're just going to get formats that are really, really nice. I mean, if you take a look at just like TCG, like people look back on Edison really fondly, right? People look back on like Hat format really fondly. But they weren't perfect formats. By no stretch of the imagination were they perfect. They were just really nice. And by the same stretch, I think the format we're in now, it's quite nice. I think the Rush meta right now is quite enjoyable. I like it. I know Speed is a bit more tumultuous. I think there's some people that really don't like the Speed meta right now. There's some people that really, really like it. It's a bit more divisive. So I don't think a selection box coming in to a divisive meta is probably the best option, but it's what they've done. Only usable at the start of your first turn. Rush is the kind of format that would really benefit from having mulligan mechanic like Hearthstone. Yes. I mean, you could say the same about early Yu-Gi-Oh! Like early TCG though, right? Like, we're at the point in Speed now where everything's a starter. We have loads of extenders. You have skills and cards that search through your entire deck. You only have a 20 card build, which means finding the cards you need should be a lot simpler. So maybe not in Speed right now, but like, one of the best skills when Duel Links came out was Mulligan, right? It was, what, Restart, I think it was called? And it was just shuffle your hand back into your deck, draw in your hand. That was one of the best skills, because it was, mulliganing's really good, right? We only have about 1/7 of the traps in Rush currently, so more traps would be nice. The thing to remember though, because that, like saying we only have 1/7, it sounds like we're missing a ton, but a lot of traps in Rush are completely unplayable garbage. So take that with a pinch of salt. We don't, like, really, we've got, like, 1/5 of the traps, right? There's a lot of them are just complete trash that we wouldn't use anyway. Is Berry Fresh played as a quick OTK deck? I'm just playing it wrong and going all in early. Berry Fresh is versatile, right? A lot of the cards do a lot of the very different things, and you can play it in lots of different ways. It can just turn around and OTK your opponent. You can also just sit on the one that reduces your opponent's attack and play it as a slow control deck. The deck is so powerful because it has so many different like dynamics it can use when it plays. So it's more about identifying when you can go for the OTK push rather than trying to do it every turn, right? The difference in Speed is that it doesn't actually hurt your draw power. Having cards stuck in hand and Rush sets you back so much every turn. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I will say as a counter-argument, usually you shouldn't be bricking up your hand with lots of guys. Sometimes that will happen, and that does suck. Usually like 1 in 10 games, you'll have a game where you're just stuck with a load of cards in hand and you just can't do anything, and it's awful, right? It just feels really, really bad. But we have skills, we have cards to help deal with that. People have been running like less and less boss monsters. Like right now, I think Machine Good Stuff plays like 6 bosses. Most of the decks are playing like 4 or less. Well, then you look at like Psychic, which plays like, 3 1 tribute monsters, but then it's like 1 tributes versus 2 tributes, and there's a whole other argument there. But generally, there are ways to like fix it. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying. There will be some games where you open the game, you look at your hand, you go, this is unplayable, and the game is practically over. Like, a lot of the time, the game will just be over immediately on the spot. And it sucks. But that's the game, unfortunately. Sometimes that's just going to happen, right? Every card game has its issues. Not every game is going to be perfect. But, we have actually run 15 minutes over because we've been yapping. We are going to be ending the stream. I learned quite a lot today. I mean, we did a lot of yapping at the start. Then we played a bunch of the Dragon Maids. I think I still need to practice with the Dragon Maids a bit more. I think I am far from master. The deck is very, like, simple. But, like, when I play the Dragoonity deck, it's like all you have to do is memorize the lines and then know where you can pivot the line depending on the card you have, right? So, in a way, it's easier to learn a combo line than it is to work out what the best play on the fly is. But like I always say, my main issue with speed, or my main problem with speed, as in from my perspective, is always going to be just not understanding what everyone else's cards do and not understanding what everyone's chokes are. So I think as I just play the format more, I will slowly learn that, we will slowly get that, and it will be good, and we will enjoy it more. I did actually really enjoy playing the deck today, but I think I'll play it off stream for a little bit, and then the next time we play it, which I don't actually know when the next time we play it will be, because we're probably going to be getting this deck build box. So we'll probably be playing some Rush next time. Speaking of, we will be streaming on... We might do a Sunday stream. If Sunday is when the new box comes out, we might do a Sunday stream. If not, we'll be back on Tuesday, and we will be at the regular time. So you know when we stream. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.